body slam my flesh.
Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Life throws you curveballs like Nolan Ryan on them. Don't give up in the field. Detroit Lions on. When his foes gave Christ the cross, he wasn't dying on them. He still extends love to those who would be lying on him. Gotta offer my service, yeah, your boy's wildin' on him. That's why I pack a punch with my lyrics, yeah, I'm styling on him. Sin and lust, no laughing matter, no joke on him. That's why I run from temptation, Usain Bolt on him. But there I go celebrating before the finish line. I find myself repenting again for my pride. Got that 4x4 community, pass the sticks on them. I hope I can depend on my dogs, Mike Vick on them. I wanna be free from slavery, Kunta Kinte on them. And just please the master, Daniel Son and Sensei on them. Opposition in my face, trying to play Vince. I'm bigger than this dude, that don't make no sense. I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him. Opposition in my face, trying to play Vince. I'm bigger than this dude, that don't make no sense. I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him. I'm unashamed of the gospel, 116 on him, chosen to be in his presence, VIP list on him. I got something like Kobe, crazy and amazing on him. Yours is always hurt, yeah, Tracy McGrady on him. When temptation comes my way, I keep a good on him. I ain't trying to master the green, Tiger Woods on him. I'm trying to deliver the word, Bill Gates on them, but they worried about themselves, my space on them. I'm hunted by the truth that even church-going youth just want to root for the thug in $1,000 suits, cause he looks fly, and he got a lot of swagger on him, but he's gonna die, yeah, pull out the casket for him. Then he stands before the throne, Judge Judy on him. Then you'll see your life was mishandled and unruly on him. Then you realize you missed the bus crisscross on him, and you ain't the biggest boss, Rick Ross on him. Opposition in my face, trying to play Vince. I'm bigger than this dude, that don't make no sense. I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him. Opposition in my face, trying to play Vince. I'm bigger than this dude, that don't make no sense. I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him.
Mama was scared cause all my friends police was pulling sirens on them. But I got picked from high school, I Kobe Bryant on them. Yeah, we talking NBA, but I feel more like the NFL, cause I got that newfound love. That's the truth, Emmanuel. Lay him hurt for my sins, no longer perp. With my friends, no longer work for the ends. Last clerk to lead a gym, cause the Lord is like the glass you can always bank on. I like to jump over Canaanites and straight crank on. I hit the J at the buzzer in this game of Jeopardy, causing the world to stay away from me like I got leprosy. I used to run with 8, now I'm running 24. Used to be lukewarm, now I'm full time for the Lord. To my defense, I'm still in that 2-3 zone. Keep it old school like 45 of Warwick Dion. Give honor when it's due, Romans 13 on. We are the champions, rock band queen on.
Opposition in my face, trying to play Vince. I'm bigger than this dude, that don't make no sense. I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him, I Kobe Bryant on him.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here. Streaming live on GorillaCross.com, the Gorilla Cross app, Facebook Live, VegasHighMedia.com. Everywhere. We are everywhere on the internet. Tonight, I'm your host, Quan59. Got Just in Time Josh in the building. Got my man Cream in the building. Got Hollywood Huff in the building. And got the man, the myth, the legend. Hasn't been here for a while, but we got Death Star Dave in the building.
Suspended Laker hate for an unforeseen amount of time.
24 hours is good.
No. He's got more than 24.
You could have Laker hate. That's sports.
24 hours for 8 days.
For 8 days.
Perfect.
24 hours for 8 days.
We're all
days.
I
Lakers.
can handle that.
I think we're all Lakers today.
Yeah.
I don't think Dave would call himself a Laker, but he's an NBA fan. When things happen like this, it's way beyond sports. Because when it comes down to it, we're NBA fans. We don't like a team, but if something happens, we show respect. We know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because we love the NBA. We love sports. We love the NFL. And when it comes down to it, we love humans, right?
Yeah.
Because this is bigger than basketball. Kobe Bryant passing away is tragic for the game of basketball, but more tragic for his family, for his close friends.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that sometimes when it comes to celebrities. And we forget the fact that there was 8 other people in that airplane,
That's right.
including his 13-year-old daughter, which that hit me worse than Kobe. You know, I know a lot of us have kids or stepkids or maybe, and
Some question marks.
some question marks for Josh.
Hey, we're figuring that out.
Yeah,
We're figuring
yeah,
that
we're-
out this week.
we
The conversation was had.
we have a Maury episode on Monday next week.
Wow. If you
but
walk
we
in
are-
here with the
Be a
envelope.
real different show.
I'm running out the room.
We are here live every Monday. From now on, the new time is 8:24 from here on out. That wasn't just a special today episode. That's from here on out. We're going to be live every Monday at 8:24. And Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Sometimes we switch it up. We have Brian Salmon from NBC on yesterday. I was texting him about on Tuesday, last Thursday. But, you know, I was texting him. I know it was a hard day for him and just all the sportscasters in Vegas and just everywhere. It was just a weird, difficult day. I mean, you know, everyone knows I'm a diehard Laker fan. If you can't tell by the banner behind me, by the Laker Nation. And these aren't things I just bought today. These are things we grew up on this. Kobe was a Laker for 20 years of our lives. So even the fact that I'm 43, that's still that's half of my life that
Half
he
your
was
life. You retired 3 years
a
ago.
Laker.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are 20 and under, that was their whole life was knowing, Kobe's a Laker. So he was always around. And there were struggles in his life. There were struggles, you know. We saw him being a teenager in the NBA. We watched him
In L.A.
grow up in LA.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happened. He had to grow up like all of us did. You know, the new Kobe, the last few years of his career, moving into what he's been doing now with, coaching his daughter's team. And we're going to talk to Josh in a minute because he was out there. He was there 5 minutes away from the crash. He just was doing so much more with his life beyond basketball right now.
Kobe Inc.
So to see it cut short is sad, and for the other 8 people on the helicopter, it's sad. We don't know what happened. We don't need to figure out what happened. Everybody, conspiracy theories, all that stuff, just shut up.
Yeah.
Someone lost their lives. A lot of people lost their lives. So there's a lot of families in shambles. We could be sad in a sports world, but we're not connected the same way these families were connected.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for people saying like, well, he's not your family, like when you grow up watching somebody, like me and my brother went to Laker games all the time together. We would call each other when Kobe's playing, scoring 81, scoring 62, all these things, which we'll go around the room a little bit later and give our favorite Kobe moments.
Not just that, but it's called empathy for people. Like, even if you didn't know him. If
These
it
are
wasn't,
humans.
If it wasn't for people not
Yeah.
knowing people and donating time or money, we'd never have anything.
But I'm saying
we
when it
wouldn't have
comes to
Social Security.
when it comes to the connection, there's a connection because we're all connected by sports, right? I mean, we get together every Monday and connect on sports, and our listeners and viewers get to connect with us on sports. So sports does bring people together in a different way. So, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Just the empathy of human beings.
Well, if you can't feel for a mother who lost her husband and daughter
At the same
Like that.
time.
Just like
saw
that.
him an hour later
and
they're
heard about
never
it,
coming back.
well, we'll get into that. But like just like that, gone. You can't have empathy for that. Then whatever. Don't call.
You have to respect the power of just with media, and we watch movies and sports. People make you feel a certain way. There are people who have never met our president right now, and they hate his guts. So you can't say that you have to meet somebody to feel something from
yeah.
them. You understand?
very true.
It works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes we really love people who we never met because the way they made us
a
feel.
really good point.
Yeah.
So
really good.
that's something people have to knock that off and you may not feel any kind of way about Kobe. He might have meant nothing to you.
That's cool.
But to someone else or to someone like myself who I watched this guy, sometimes I rooted for him, sometimes I rooted against him.
Right.
And to see him just his work ethic and to go hard the way he did all the time, you have to respect that.
And all of us grew up playing basketball too.
Right.
And so like there were times we were in the gym and we're tired and we don't want to go anymore. And we thought of a guy like Kobe who would keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of connection. And we're like, Mamba would keep going. You know what I mean?
And how many times, we've all done it. We shoot the basket in the trash. I mean, I've done it on the show, and that Kobe.
It's
weird,
weird,
we've done it
right?
on the
Like
show.
people don't say Chamberlain. You know?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, that
Well,
seems
I've
like
done
that's
it
too many
sometimes
syllables.
if you do a sky hook.
If you do a sky hook, yeah, right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, aka Lou Alcindor.
Do a sky hook, and I'm like me,
Me Moeller.
Yeah, this was just a crazy one to me because he was the guy that was my age.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's 2 months older, basically. And it was just like I saw his whole career, and it's just like when you're seeing all these things happen, it's like,
Man, we came out at the same time.
It's like, yeah, this dude is my age. That's the one where it.
And you feel like you haven't even come close to living your life yet.
Oh, but it's not just that, but it's just when I would see some of these things, it would shock you, and I would just think like, what if I had this kind of talent and drive and things like
What would you do with it?
Because I would always see him and just be like, what would I do with all this? Because it's the same time frame. It's just crazy. When
and real quick, Dave's known me longer than anybody in this room. So Dave probably knows what I wanted to be when I grew up, right, Dave? Like knowing me in junior high and high school. What did I want to be?
You wanted to be Magic Johnson.
Magic Quanson.
For what? What team did I want to play for?
No, you just only wanted to play for the Lakers.
I wanted to be in the NBA playing for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant was the first player ever younger than me in the NBA. When he made the announcement with the sunglasses on his head, I'm like, who is this dude? Like, Kevin Garnett came out of high school, so now everyone thinks they're like, this guy's dumb. Like, why is he doing that? And then he gets traded to the Lakers. I'm like, well, now we don't have a center. traded Vlade. I'm like, okay.
Poor you. Oh, man.
Well,
now we don't have a center.
That's one of my moments. I'll get into the background on that.
And so, like, for me, it's like, that dude's living my dream. What's going on? It took me, it took me a year or two to really warm up to Kobe. Yeah. And even then, there was times in 04 that I was still like, bro, like, quit pouting when they say you're shooting too much and now you don't want to shoot at all.
Yeah.
Or, so there was times like in his career with the Lakers that I was frustrated with the guy. But it was because he was the first younger guy ever in the NBA than me living my dream.
Well, and I got to see
pretty much.
I got to hear about him and see about him more. My friend Bruce, he another huge Laker fan.
Yeah. Shout out
forever. But he was the first guy on the Kobe thing. Like he was on it.
Yeah,
he has all the Kobe
like
stuff from day one. He knew like this is the guy. This is my guy. He had the ugly spaceship shoes. He had
that's not changing. Those shoes were terrible.
He had he had everything.
That's okay
so
to say that.
It was just crazy to see from the start where I was just like, man, I don't know. It's like everybody that's ever come straight from high school is at least a power forward.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting a guard.
He was the first guard.
It's like how is a guard or a wing gonna do this?
Because
like,
Moses did it, but that was back in the 70s.
But you saw those high school highlights.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. Those guys playing with him look a lot like me. I'm nowhere near the league, so I don't know about all this.
And, if you guys are watching live online on Facebook or YouTube or Vegas High Media, please share the live video feed if you're listening live on the app. We appreciate it. If you guys don't have the Gorilla Cross app yet, make sure you download that. If you guys have a favorite Kobe moment, we don't want to make this a sad day. We've all been on ESPN and the media the last 2 days. And I barely moved yesterday. Like, luckily my brother came over and we went to lunch with my mom and were able to get out of the house. And then I came back and sat in front of the TV again. And it was just unreal to me. And even waking up today, I'm like, did that happen?
Yeah.
Even watching it on TV, them saying like Kobe died, I'm like, no, like
this is rough.
The fourth quarter, right? He's about to come back. It was unreal. So if you guys are want to talk about what's going on and you have a moment going to a game or just favorite Kobe moment, hit us up.
Am I the
702-608-3259.
Am I the only person that like whenever these kind of tragedies happen, like you're
Laughs.
like, what?
Laughs.
No,
Not this time.
no. Like where you're just like, well, maybe maybe he jumped out.
Yeah, they're
And
right.
he's like in the woods. Like, can we send out a search party? Like,
He's got a switchblade. Like, how'd you even get that on there? And why did you carry that?
Yeah, I go into denial for days,
yeah,
bro.
like just for a little
Gigi
bit. Like,
comes out and her hair's all like,
yeah,
you know
like,
what I'm saying? I was
like
thinking
sticks,
and they're right. You see, like,
they're okay.
You're right, like dirt smudges on them. Like, yo, they really made it. Like
yeah,
you ain't the only one, man.
Okay, all right. That was my first. That was my first inclination. Was like, no, he found a way.
Right.
There's a way. I was just sure for the longest time it was wrong. It just didn't seem accurate. Didn't seem any possible way it was accurate.
Well, when it said what it was, and then
that's
timing.
What got me.
The timing. See, okay. Well,
you have more on the timing.
I can kind of break down the timing. I was in LA for the Mamba Cup. This is my second time coaching in it. Our first time was their first Mamba Cup of the year, which was back in November. And my game was at 11. His game was at 12. So so basically we're starting the second half of our.
Were you wearing a maroon blazer?
No.
Okay.
No. So in that video where they showed everyone, you can see my girls off to the left, and then I'm behind them because our court was adjacent to that court. The court
I was trying to
happened,
see if I saw it.
I probably could find myself if I look at it again, but I didn't realize what I was looking at until I was like, oh crap, those are my girls right there.
Yeah.
But basically it was starting the second half, and there was like a backcourt call or a travel or something. And, usually whenever the possession changes hands, there's like a brief pause, and then you get the ball back in play, and we go on. There was like a secondary pause that was like, what's up? And then directly behind me, which was the court that you saw, Quan, I heard people crying, and so I like turned. It was like 40 people.
Were you guys already playing?
Yeah, we're playing. It's second half because it's 11 o'clock. It was 11. The whole gym is going.
Yeah.
There's 6 courts. Everybody's playing. And the court behind me is the court that Kobe usually plays on, just because it's easier to contain. He can get on, get off, and then go, because there's like basically the way the Mamba Academy is set up. There's like offices and things kind of directly behind me. And so when I look behind me, there was like 40 people at half court, and they're like huddled together. And then Erin Thorne, who we've had on the show in the past, who that's who I coach with. It's her AAU program. She taps me. And she shows me her phone, and it says Kobe Bryant. It was a TMZ report, and it said Kobe Bryant dead at 41, helicopter crash. And like, I kind of like froze for a second, because we knew that he played at 12. He played directly after us. We had a gap, so we actually were going to sit and watch. So I immediately knew that Gigi more than likely died as well, just because they would have been flying together to get to the gym. And where the crash happened, where it was in Calabasas, in the mountains that basically separates the ocean to the 101, and so it happened about 5 minutes away from where we were. Is where he went down.
That's tough, because I remember I looked at my phone, and somebody on Facebook had posted a report saying he died, and I was like, oh, it's another one of those fake news, fake celebrity death things, So I started first I ignored it, and then I saw another one, a different person, and I know these two people, so they're in two different places, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see. I Googled it. Nothing came up. Yeah, it's still talking about, LeBron passes Kobe.
Yeah, nothing came up.
That's all you can find.
I literally Googled Kobe TMZ.
And then, I went to TMZ, and TMZ site was down. So
that's what I knew it was real.
I imagine traffic crashed their site.
Yeah, when their site was down, that's what I knew.
Hey, real quick, we do have a phone caller. Danny Hand, live on the line. What's good? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I got to actually answer the call.
That's true. He's like, it's still ringing.
Yeah, Danny Hand, live on the line. What's up, PD?
Hey, guys. Thanks for the therapy. One of my favorite Kobe moments is when Barnes is trying to throw it inbound. Fakes like he's going to hit him in the face, and he doesn't flinch. Just cold-blooded.
And like 2 weeks ago.
I'm taking my evening bath, so thank you for the therapy as I listen. It's been a rough couple of days, but Kobe Bryant, one of the best.
Dude, yeah. Like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he got interviewed by Barnes about that same thing.
Right.
Like they just talked about that.
Yeah, it was on Showtime on their show.
Yeah.
Man.
PD, how'd you feel? Because I know you were preaching when you're getting text messages yesterday at church.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you guys. I feel kind of like some of the things that come out of my mouth. I'm like, wow, why is this affecting me the way that it is? I mean, it was like the emotions that I feel when I watch like the Kennedy documentary or Martin Luther King Jr. I'm like, I've had other people that I've looked up to or been heroes to me, but this one's different. So I'm just really trying to ask the Lord, what are you trying to say? Yes, we can say things like life is fleeting and maybe it's his child being on board, but it's something I'm still processing, guys. And grieving is a real thing. People say, you're crazy, this is sports. But for me, sports has been a lot to me, and it's been the tool that God's taught me a lot of things about life. So I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm grieving for him and his family, and the other one's lost in the accident. But sports is a gift from God to us. So
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for calling in, PD.
I appreciate you guys listening and enjoying it while I'm taking my bath.
All right, now that was two mentions of the bath.
He's in the bath. Hey, he's in the bath.
He's in the tub.
Pastors have to take baths too.
Yeah.
Does he have like a little bath bombs?
Hey,
like,
you know what? I'm not. I'm
I'm
honestly just hating on him because I've spent the last 6 years in a house where
In a
my
bath?
tub was my tub was too small to take a comfortable bath.
That's all tubs for me.
Tall,
there was-
people, tall people problems.
And there was
Yeah.
someone else he
I was
couldn't
about to
get
say,
out of his bath.
wow, your tub was too small, huh? What
too
did the government
small.
say?
To the government, no, my legs said it was like I'm gonna constantly be either half in or half out. I was like, I never could really be all the way in.
Did you call your congressman? Did you alert the authorities?
I'm just saying.
Because your bath was.
I said I was quietly hating
I mean,
on the man.
it sucks
because
that
he
your bath
actually
was too
Starting
small.
a GoFundMe
Too
for my
bad
new
you.
tub.
Too bad you couldn't just
Anyway,
stand
Go
up.
tub me.
I'm moving,
Go
so
tub
my
me.
new spot, I got a Scarface tub, so I'm good.
Scarface tub.
I'll be bathed up after games, nice and relaxed.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a weird
Things we
Good
didn't
to
want to
know.
know about
Gotta
Josh.
be bathed up.
The pastor brought up the baths.
And you just
I
took
just
it
kept
around
it
with
going.
You
Anyway.
ran with it, son.
I didn't say it was gonna be candles.
But it's
They
good.
might
It-
do
There
that.
was gonna be candles.
I'm not saying there would be. but
Listen,
I'm
if
not-
you're gonna do it,
I'm not
you might
not
as well.
saying that.
You might as well go all the way.
right. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't just stand up and just take it regular.
That's a shower. Moving on.
Oh, that was it.
What, 6 years. I have ankle issues. My ankle is blown up right now. I need the.
Stick your,
Man, I don't even know when the last
stick your
time I
ankle
took
in
a
the
bath
tub.
was.
Yeah, 6 years. Oh, I haven't had.
I was probably a
bath.
child.
Yeah.
Mom was patting you down when you got out. Good job. It's
I'm in
all
that
right.
range. Yeah. I
Probably somewhere in that vicinity.
haven't even seen a tub I could fit in.
You just look at it, give it a look. Nope. Another one.
Dang it.
Do they even sell them at Home Depot? Like,
Oh yeah.
can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called jacuzzi.
They're called not big enough.
I'm sorry. If they don't sell them at your Home Depot, you're going to the wrong Home Depot. You got everything but a 6'2" and over tub. Like, what is this place?
Symbols green.
If it's spelled home D-P-O,
Depot.
If somebody
Depot.
pronounce it Depot, you in the wrong place, man.
Home Depot.
Welcome to Home Depot. What? Wait, what? Wait a minute. What are you
It's the
selling?
Home Depot. You know what? You just go without me, man. Don't even worry about the change, bro.
I'm good.
Listen, we appreciate everybody listening wherever they're at. You know, home, school, bathtubs. We appreciate you guys tuning in to us, hanging out with us in the bathtub at 8:49. 49. It's 49. We'll talk about that later. Oh, you didn't get it?
I didn't.
Well, you will.
We were legitimately on another wavelength.
That's
flipped
weird.
it.
I got it right away. It's crazy.
I mean, anytime you think of bathtubs, I'm sure Cream thinks of Jimmy G. So
Duh. I'm not even sorry.
That just made it. See, I was at least talking about my ailments. You took it a different place.
It could be an element.
that's not Cream's helmet.
His helmet's being too handsome.
That's right.
It's an affliction.
Oh man.
That's right.
Curse with
But
Roberts.
listen, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, and you know, yeah, just hearing the news. I mean, it was our chat group. Todd had said something, and you had said something about the TMZ link, Steve. And you know, I couldn't. I wasn't even supposed to be awake. I just kept waking up randomly. My alarm wasn't set till 3:00 in the afternoon because I was working till 7 in the morning. And when I woke up randomly at 10, and then woke up randomly again at 11:39, you know, right when it was happening in the media. You know, I couldn't believe it. And it's, you know, like I said, man, it's still weird. Still weird even saying it. Like, that, it doesn't seem to make
It's just
sense.
crazy.
Because the night before, like, LeBron passes Kobe. So that's what we're supposed to be talking about today.
Right.
Who's better, Kobe or LeBron? And I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Like, all that stuff
Yeah.
doesn't matter. They're all great. They all have a huge place in this world that goes way beyond basketball. So it's just it's crazy, and I think these are one of those things where everybody will remember where they were in that moment. And for a lot of people, I think like it made people that don't even really pay attention to sports feel this. You know what I'm saying? So this affected a lot more people than I even expected.
I'm not surprised at all.
I remember the first time my mom found out who Kobe Bryant was, and my mom used to work in casinos, whatever, and they have their breaks, how they do it every 20 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah. And she said she's sitting down, and there was a Laker game on TV, and she said to herself, who is this maniac on the court who's running from side to side everywhere and then scoring all these crazy baskets? Because my mom watched me playing basketball when I was growing up, whatever. So, like, she gets the gist of the sport, but she never really watched it. And she called home from her break. She called my dad first, or I think she called me first. She's like, who's this Kobe Bryant guy? Right? And I was like, oh, you gonna know about Kobe.
Yeah.
So she was like one of the first two people I texted when it happened. I text my daughter. Well, she texted me. My daughter texted me first, and then I text my mom. I was like, yo, like, Kobe's dead. And she legit was like, yo, I feel like I lost a son.
Yeah.
And I was like, At first I was like, I know. Right? Wait a minute, hold on.
You love Kobe as much as
wait a
me,
minute,
Mom?
wait a
The
minute.
son I always wanted is gone.
Well, guess what? You just lost another one. That's what I wanted to say. What I thought about for a second, but yeah, man, that's a lot of people felt. I think I felt like that. Like, yo, this is like a homie.
Yeah. Same
crazy.
thing. My mom said she was feeling it the same way, and really, what hit me the hardest, like I said earlier, was when. ABC reported that they believed his daughters were on board, but it's like everyone else already reported they weren't.
Right.
So ABC and ESPN came so late to the game in this, which is unusual for ESPN, but I think they were trying to make sure everything was cool first. Like, we're not reporting this yet. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure 100%.
I noticed that too.
When we found out that it was like his youngest or his 13-year-old daughter, that just hit me in a different way. And I was already texting my stepdaughter, but that I had to call her.
That almost floored me right there.
Yeah, that was hard.
And look, listen, in that gym, I heard from his other not all the daughters. I heard that the only daughter that wasn't on there was the baby, and I knew Vanessa wasn't on there. I heard that Rick Fox was on there. My fear was that Zach Randolph's daughter and possibly Zach Randolph were also on there because Zach Randolph plays with Kobe's daughter on that team.
But didn't you hear rumors of your brother maybe being on there?
My mom.
Oh, your mom.
Wait. Before I even, because my mom, similar situation. My mom calls me from church and she's in hysterics. And
and this is after you already found out, though.
Yeah, this is maybe about 10 minutes.
Okay.
My mom texted me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And so I'm literally in the middle of trying to text her back because a lot is going on in the gym, and literally, so then right as I'm texting her back, she calls and I'm like, "Oh God, all right, let me answer the phone for Mom."
Yeah,
she knows I'm around, and so Mom is just completely crying. My mom's in terms of death in the family, my mom's the main one that she feels death. Everybody else, we feel it, but we compartmentalize in a different way. She overall, for the most part, she'll cry, but then she kind of pulls herself back together. So she was worried that Jerome was on the helicopter. Jerome was also in LA. He had a tournament in Anaheim with Jeremiah, and so so she couldn't get Jerome. So I call Jerome, I get Jerome picks right up. So we talk for about 5 minutes. I'm like, please call Mom. Mom's not okay.
Yeah.
So he called her, and then I talked to him later last night, and he was able to calm her back down. But she was, Kobe was, listen, he was in Jerome's draft. I've known Kobe, his whole family, is his older sister since '96. Wow. So, and then my mom had a deeper relationship with his mom because his mom was in and out of the mother's organization that my mom was a part of.
And the draft classes always have a connection.
Yeah.
There's always a connection with the draft.
And that draft class is arguably the best draft class of all time for the NBA outside of 84.
Yeah.
Possibly was it 03?
03, 96, 84 usually the ones that everyone goes back
to.
But
agree. When you look at just the overall depth of 96 and 84, it's pretty insane.
Right up there. I mean, it's definitely those three are in the top. But we do have a caller, my man Goose, live on the line, bro. What is your favorite Kobe moment, and just how you feeling right now, man?
Look, man, what's good, everybody, man? Shout out to the panel, man, everybody on this. It's sad, man. That's really the only word I can honestly come up with. Is sad, man. My day has been crazy. So I wake up at 2:00 in the morning, and Kareem, I believe you were on the page at the time, man, because I caught one of your posts.
He's always on the page, so yeah.
He's always on the page, man, because you like a vampire, bro. So I know what to get you. But woke up at matter of fact, when I found out the news, I was on my way back from Duck Creek in Utah, and I'm like, hold on, man, like this not real, bro. Like this can't be real. Like I'm just telling myself, yo, this is not real. This not real. This not real. And we stop, and you see the multiple reports, all kind of all of the news outlets reporting, and reality kind of sets in. Like, yo, it's like a real thing. This is really like happening right now. And so I wake up this morning, 2:00, and I get on my phone, and I just start bawling, bro. Like really, real live crying at 2:00 in the morning. Not knowing I gotta be up for work at 3:00 in the morning.
Goose, real quick. How old are you, Goose?
I'm 37.
37.
Same age as me.
So I mean, you're right up there with pretty much same age.
Yeah.
A little bit younger than Kobe.
Our freshman year of high school was when Kobe declared from the draft right out of high school. We were always just 4 years behind.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You Kareem, you went to Vegas with my guy Corey Boykin.
Yes, sir.
That's my guy forever. That's my dude, man, right there. So, but yeah, man, I'm a grown ass man up at 2:00 in the morning, bawling my eyes out, like I really just lost somebody close to me.
And if it makes you feel weird, that's around the time I started crying right there. So we were doing that at the same time. You're welcome.
Unbelievable. But it's funny though. It's funny because I always mention that I've never. It's only one player in the NBA that I've ever been a fan of, and that's Shaquille O'Neal, right?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So I've never been like a Kobe fan. I just happen to be a Laker fan. He happened to be a Laker, so I'm gonna cheer for him, right? But I've never been a Kobe Bryant fan. But you realize the impact that certain players have. They just have it. And Kobe had it. Whatever it is, Kobe had it.
I mean, and we could argue who the greatest of all time is. And in my mind, my favorite player to watch is Kobe. I mean, it's not even if he's the greatest. For me, watching him, like he would do things that I knew no game was out of hand if Kobe was in the game. And we watched it so many times. And for me, he's my greatest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him and Magic are right up there. But I saw Kobe's entire career from day one. Magic, I came in, knew who he was in the 80s, but became a super fan in the mid-80s. But Kobe was like, when he was in high school, we knew him forever.
Absolutely, man. And you guys were talking about the drafts while I was on hold there. That 96 draft was so deep, bro. It was just so deep. Like, if you look at the first round of that draft, like from the first pick to the last pick in that draft, super talented, bro.
It's like I think it's like 8 or 9 famers in that draft.
It's one of only 2 drafts that had 3 MVPs in it. Wow.
But I mean,
the other one was 84.
It's Allen,
Nash,
Ray Allen,
Nash,
Kobe, Stephon.
The worst player was the number 1 pick. The worst
crazy.
player was Joe Smith. He was the number one pick.
No, that was
Iverson.
Hey, Iverson.
Oh, Allen Iverson. It was Allen Iverson. You're right.
I was like,
Yeah.
not worse.
Yeah.
Who was
That's
number two? Who was number two? That
Marcus
year?
Camby.
Marcus
Oh,
Camby
wow.
was number two.
Number
yeah.
three was Steph.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Shoot, who was four? I can't remember four. I know that Steph and Ray Allen, they swapped teams. So I feel like Ray was like 6. I feel like Ray Allen was like
Sharif Abdul-Rahim was
Sharif
number 3.
was 3.
Sharif
Thank you.
Abdul-Rahim. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, bro.
Antoine
Like,
Walker
just
6.
super-
Lareza Wright, rest in peace.
Yeah.
At 7,
Wow.
Kerry Kittles.
Kerry
Not
Kittles.
mistaken for George Kittle, MVP of the Super Bowl.
No.
Number 8,
Villanova Spidey.
Samaki Walker, number 9. Eric Dampier, number 10. Todd Fuller, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a rough stretch.
Number 11. Vitaly Potapenko, number 12.
Potapenko.
And then we had Kobe and Page and Nash. Like, we had some good ones after all
Forgot
that.
about Peja. Wow.
Come on, man. Straight Hall of Famers, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Page was drafted twice, actually.
Really?
Yes, he was.
Cool.
Yeah. He was drafted by the Kings 2 times.
Oh.
Oh, they really wanted him.
Yeah.
Lonnie wasn't even in charge then.
I thought you were going to say, like, the Serbian army.
No, I still don't understand that one, but he was drafted twice.
Okay.
Because that was when he was
crazy,
still
man.
pre-drag Stojakovic.
Just
Pre-drag.
pre-drag.
Right. But I want to make this point, and I'm gonna make the same point on our show tomorrow. But you have somebody like a Kobe Bryant, and I compare my niece, who I lost early in her life. She was 20 when she passed away, right? So you have somebody that's so young that achieved so much. Like, they lived a full life. Like, my niece lived a full life, and she passed away when she was 20. But when you look back on her life, she did more than people 3-4 times her age. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at Kobe. Like, he did so much in his life, and I'm just talking outside of basketball. This is not even basketball related. Like, he was really just starting his life, if you think about it, because his life was all basketball. Like, it was everything basketball. Like, we didn't really know anything else, as far as his outside interests other than basketball. Yeah. Up until when he won the Oscar.
Well, except his rap career.
His rap career.
Except for his
rap career was lackluster.
That wasn't his best.
You can't be great at everything.
Listen, y'all tripping. I know every single word to that verse. Let me tell you something. Microphones, Glock 9.
Look, that doesn't make it great, Kareem.
No, I mean, listen, I never said that. Don't jump the horse. Kicking the dough, waving the flow. Oh, listen. Then the flow.
Bars.
Bars.
I feel bad that I brought that up.
Prison bar.
Goose,
Bars are soap in your bath.
thanks for calling in, Goose. And man, check out Goose tomorrow on Let the Ball Bounce, 6 p.m. West Coast time.
Same thing you guys are doing, man.
Yeah, man.
It's hard not to, bro. You got to
Definitely.
reflect on this man and what he's accomplished, man. You have to, bro.
Definitely.
You have to.
So
Appreciate it,
man, I
Goose.
appreciate you, man. And people listening, man. Absolutely, man. Y'all take it easy. Have a good show.
I just saw a great story, and you're about to see me praise somebody who you would never think I'm going to praise.
Me?
Well, that still won't happen.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure.
Connecticut women played the USA
Yeah.
basketball tonight,
Gino.
and Gino Auriemma and Connecticut named Gigi a Husky for life because she dreamed to go to Connecticut.
Yeah,
Wow.
They did a
I
whole
saw
thing
that
for her
earlier.
beforehand, not Kobe,
Yeah, for her.
but for her.
That's awesome.
Go back to what
Ooh.
Goose
Yeah,
was saying, 'cause
I
if
just praised
if
Gino
I keep
Auriemma.
thinking about that, I'm gonna lose it. But
Yeah.
going back to what Goose said, Dre Bailey posted something earlier today where it's talking about the outside interests of Kobe, and it wasn't even all since he retired. He started in 2013, started investing and stuff like that. And his assets now, from 2013 and now, what he's accumulated, he's got assets worth over $2 billion. Wow! Off the court, there's no debating there. Like, off the court, he was boss.
That's crazy.
I mean,
dude.
and especially if you think about his rebirth after 2000, because remember 2004, we won't get into all that, but he lost basically everything. He lost Sprite. He lost, Adidas walked away from McDonald's.
Most of his big ones.
Basically, all of his big endorsements left him.
And you know what? And
Nike.
To add to that, it wasn't even just that. It was after when Shaq left.
Yeah.
It got even worse then. That's when it's really like, oh no, we're out.
But
Everybody was against it.
everybody rolled. Nike came forward, and then he just slowly just kept building, kept rebuilding.
But
Not only
I think part of that was because I don't want to say that he changed, but a lot of it felt like a lot of it was before that point. It was a whole Jordan blueprint. He had kind of like this phony at least a reputation. I mean, who could say if he was or wasn't? I mean, maybe all these things were just the way he felt. But then it just seemed like after that point, he just, as he kept going more and more, and this is when I really started becoming a fan of him, was when he stopped giving the pat answer.
Yeah.
When he said what he thought. When
Honestly,
he said at all times.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it was all positive, and it was good stuff. But he would call things out when he felt things needed to be called out.
Yeah.
He didn't stay behind this whole demeanor, and it felt like to me, that's why one of the many reasons I always preferred 24 over 8, because I felt like 24 was Kobe Bryant, and 8 was trying to be Michael
teenager
Jordan.
trying to find himself.
And
that goes back
too.
to the point of us watching this guy grow up before our eyes. So all of us, we were trying to be someone else when we're teenagers. We're looking at up to people and trying to be somebody. And then once you finally find your identity and you're comfortable in your own skin, that's when you become 24 and you don't you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
You don't care what people think as much. So,
and to think about it though, if you really think about it, Kobe didn't have any drama. Like again, he's similar to LeBron. Outside of 04, because LeBron hasn't had any off the court drama.
Right.
Kobe had quite a.
Kobe's had a.
Kobe
You
had
play
a
in
lot.
LA,
I mean,
you have a lot of drama.
But I mean, to be in LA his whole career, like he never outside of 04.
I mean, we could talk about the things with his parents like that.
Well, that was more.
I think that's just
the Shaq stuff.
I think most of Kobe's beefs though were like real life issues.
beefs.
Yeah.
You could say that like maybe you can count the Shaq stuff as drama.
But it wasn't
other than
anything,
his one main issue that he
didn't
had,
have anything off the court.
there was
He didn't
not like
have-
an ongoing, he's caught doing this over here and then he's doing this over here. Most of which, when you turned on the news and heard about Kobe, it was basketball related. 99% of the time.
Even if it was good or bad, it was basketball
Right,
related.
yeah.
I say all that to say. Well, the reason I even brought it up was, did you guys see Allen Iverson's post earlier today?
I did not.
So AI basically, he was talking about his rookie year, and obviously same draft class as Kobe, and so when he came to LA to play his first time in LA, his first game at the Forum, Kobe picked him up, took him out to dinner, and they were just talking about their careers, what was going to happen, and basically he asked Allen what he was doing later, and Allen was like, "Oh, I'm going to the club, like I'm gonna be at the club. It's LA, I'm gonna be at the club." He asked Kobe what he's doing, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to the gym." And that was at 18.
Yeah.
Well, that's also, to me, that just illustrates the difference between those two players.
Well,
Both
how
of
did Allen Iverson get in the club?
He's 20.
He was Allen Iverson.
Was that really a question? How did all the players at the U get in the club?
Well, yeah, they all went together as the youth. Yeah, well, listen. All the players in Miami, absolutely, they got into a Miami club. LA don't care about no Allen Iverson.
They do.
Well,
Listen,
Allen Iverson was in a Biggie song at 20.
that ain't the same thing.
With them clubs just looking at, okay, this dude coming in here, he's in the NBA. That means he got money to blow.
Those doors go just like this.
Yep.
Yep. He's gonna pop all the bottles.
Obviously, I know how he got in the club, but I'm saying like,
How did he get in the club?
what I'm saying is like, how did he get in the club? Like,
You think Luka's not walking into any club right now?
If he wants to.
They open the door and they let him
Let's be 100% clear here. More people knew who Allen Iverson was than know Luka right now. Come on now.
But
I'm
okay.
not saying they
Luka
don't.
can't just
That's probably true.
walk down the street. Allen Iverson stood out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people
Even
knew
shorter.
who Allen Iverson
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about off the court drama? Like he had that coming in.
In
Like,
spades.
people knew
He
who
almost
Allen
didn't
Iverson
make
was.
it there
Yeah.
because off the court.
Right. No, I'm saying
Yeah.
people knew who he was.
Yeah.
Though.
The club versus
You
gym thing,
recognize
though, to me was always the difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
That's why I was never an AI guy.
Never were an AI guy.
I respected
Don't do
AI.
it.
Well, here.
But, I was never an
just
AI guy.
Not
Don't
even,
do it.
Not, it's
I'm
okay.
not saying because of
All
club
right.
stuff.
I got you.
I don't want to get into all the stuff.
got you.
I was never an AI guy.
I'm with you. I'm
Well,
saying
look,
don't do it.
look,
I've done this before.
the big. I'll say this.
I
The
know what I'm
biggest,
getting
the
into.
biggest thing, the thing that makes Allen Iverson such a freak of nature. And you look at people like Steve Francis at the
His
same time.
arms, so he could scratch his ankles standing up.
No, not that. Not
amazing.
that. That is amazing as well. His reach, his standing reach
It's
had to be 95.
crazy.
But
he posted like Yao Ming before every game, just holding the rim.
Yoga, bro.
Dolls him. That's what he looked like. Them arms.
But I mean, AI. Tip, you really think about how like he practiced, but it was never an obsession, and he talked about that. He worked on his game.
He was just so good.
But he was just physically gifted. The reason that some guys, when you're like, man, what happened to that guy in the league? A lot of guys, they fall into that. Whereas Kobe, that wasn't ever really his thing. I'm sure he had
What are
his
we
moments.
talking about?
Practice?
Yeah. Not the game.
But
Not the game.
that was always my secret Kobe fandom thing. Is I always felt, now granted, Kobe, as we were never going to deny this, was supremely physically gifted. However, I always got the feeling that Kobe got everything
out of
I feel like Kobe got 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was
At
like
all times.
a little bit over average NBA and athleticism. For an NBA player, there's the average, and Kobe was
He was above
above
average.
that. He was above that.
But he wasn't
But
like an
he
outrageous
wasn't-
freak.
Right. He wasn't outrageous athletic. Like, you compare
Look at
Jordan
it, yeah.
to the people of his era, he's way faster, jumps way higher, quicker. Blah, blah.
He worked hard.
There were other guys. There was probably 10 guys, 15 guys who were just as athletic as Kobe when he.
I
what I'm saying?
You know what?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I can actually.
He wasn't supreme.
He wasn't supremely
right.
athletic.
That's what I like
look at
about
it
him
this
the
way.
most.
If T-Mac had Kobe's drive,
Yeah,
It
he would have been
would be
better.
different.
Cancel Christmas.
I think he would have been
And-
better than Kobe.
And that's why you always hear people talk about the difference between talent and skill.
Yeah.
Where Kobe was skilled. No matter I don't care where
Yeah,
his natural starting talent was.
yeah.
He worked so hard
That it got
that
to
that
another
skill
point.
just took it to be better
And,
than
and
everybody.
there's some Laker fans that will deny it, but there was a year or two where Laker fans wanted Kobe traded for T-Mac.
Well, look.
Because that was a debate for 4 or 5 good years. Who's better?
Wasn't it?
Well, one of the things, and it's crazy. I kind of preach this to some of my children sometimes. It was a Kobe quote where it wasn't even a quote, it was a video where he basically talked about his work ethic during the summer, and so he basically was talking about how he practiced. He would wake up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, go to the gym. He would work from 4 or 5 till about 8, 9, have breakfast, go back, work again, do that until lunch, go back, work again. And he did that every day during the off season. So, and he did that for years. So what he was saying was, even for that guy that when guys like, oh, I'm gonna take it real serious this summer, I'm gonna really train this off season, the gap was already so big that they could never recover that amount of time that was actually put forth, because the amount of time that he was putting in was nowhere near what you're putting in. So to even try to catch him was impossible.
Already
He was
behind.
already
He was
already
a true-
too far ahead.
a true competitive maniac.
Yeah.
You would had to be born with that mindset on top of those gifts gave you something incredibly
and not
special.
just even be. I mean, listen. There's a lot of people who are born with that type of mindset, but maybe don't put it towards basketball. He loved basketball.
Yeah.
So you got to have that too. Going back to T-Mac, that was kind of my story with Kobe, because I had a friend who, just like yours, right when Kobe came out, that was his guy. He's a Laker fan. This is the guy. So me, I'm hating. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get me a guy. I'm gonna get me a guy. So the next year, T-Mac comes out. I'm like, you know what?
That's it.
You're gonna be my guy. So I already had hey, no bats. All right, so I already had in my mind my own bias, this is gonna be my guy, this is my guy. And T-Mac was good, but Kobe just won me over, man.
Something different.
He just won me over. That dude was just different.
Steve, what's your favorite Kobe moment?
The funniest thing is, my favorite Kobe moment was actually his last game. Wow. Of all the other moments, that's the moment that I probably had the most emotional attachment to Kobe.
Yeah.
I was in the gym working out. I had no desire to watch this game, and it just so happened to be on. And this was when I was die hard in the gym 6 days a week, sometimes even twice a day. my whole thing is focus. Even got a shirt about it. Says focus, right? Like, so I don't really watch TV when I'm in the gym. I'm lifting. If I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at the time, or I'm changing the song that's playing, right? I'm because I time in between how my rest period between lifting, right? I don't know what happened, but I looked up, and it was the Laker game was on, right? And they kept talking about the Kobe's last game and all of this, and so I'm kind of lifting it in between sets. I'm checking it out, and he started the game like 0 for 5 or 0 for 6. It was something like that. I was like, all right, it's whatever. It's Kobe's last game. Who cares? Like, he's gonna take a bunch of shots, whatever. So I remember like it might have been in the third quarter. It said that like Kobe had like 30 something points, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And they were losing, and so now I'm starting to watch the game to the point I'm losing track of my workout. You know what I mean? Like I've the fourth quarter started,
and he's been hooked on nibs ever since.
The fourth quarter started, and I stopped working out.
Shook that there narcotic. He ain't on the nibs no more.
I literally, the fourth quarter, when the fourth quarter started, I stopped working out, and I was standing there watching basketball.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that many people in the gym, but it was another guy who pretty much the same thing. It was like he saw me, and then we both just standing there looking up at the TV like, two kids looking at candy, you know what I mean, in a store.
And now they do a show together every Thursday.
But that moment, you see this guy and you see the fans' reaction, and you see people, and there are games where, of course, I wanted like Kobe to win, or I wanted the Lakers to win, or whatever. But there was never a point that I could think of where every time he got the ball, I was just like, "Come on, man, you can!" Yeah. Like I was just thinking, like, "You can do it!" Like let's go, And he did, and they win this game. I feel like it was like a finals game. Yeah. It was just some random
didn't matter
season game that didn't even matter.
Neither team's making the playoffs.
It didn't even matter.
But it summed up his whole career. And to see a game like that,
right?
No one's ever had a game where I'm going to sum up how my career was in one final game.
Yeah,
we saw Jordan's last game against Philly, and it was cool. Like, okay,
right.
But it wasn't a Jordan game.
Left. Yeah,
nah, man. And that game actually came on today, and I watched some of it. I was trying to take a nap so I won't fall asleep here, but I watched some of it, and it was funny because they were like halfway through the fourth quarter, right before Kobe goes off, and I'm like, oh, I gotta leave. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I couldn't watch it, but that moment, you see a guy who in his last game, this is after the Achilles surgery. However many surgeries he's had on broken fingers, his kneecaps,
shoulder,
this is a guy who's old.
Everything
he's physically unable to be what he was, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
And dropped 3 years
and
earlier.
He dropped 60 points. Oh. He dropped 60 points just to basically say thank you, goodbye. You know, I mean, it's
and got the
Dave.
Good defensive team.
Favorite moment,
man.
What's your
Well, I'm going to give a quick honorable mention. That's I won't step on some of the other moments, but when I'd get from my buddy Bruce, I'd get the Kobe heat check text, or back in the day call, you need to see what Kobe's doing right now. And being a Laker hater, it's like, oh man, do I have to? But then it's like, so I won't step on any of those. But my unquestioned number one, 2008 Olympic gold medal game.
Yes, sir.
I thought you stole my moment. I was about to freak out.
100% number one without question. You have most of the best players in the world are on that USA team. You have LeBron, you have Dwayne Wade. Everybody's playing great. They're dominating everybody. Every game in that. Except that Spain gold medal game, because that Spain team was great, and they were ready for them, and they were not afraid.
And they were NBA loaded, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they also were NBA loaded with guys who played together like their whole lives.
Yeah.
And they were not scared of anybody on that team. And as it got tight there, at the very end of the game, all the best players in the world looked around and then Kobe Bryant literally just
give
I've
me
got
the ball.
Put on the
out of the way.
and you had Dwayne Wade and LeBron mentioned that time that helped them flip and turn into the players they were with that moment.
Not just that moment, but he altered the whole future of the league in that Olympics because LeBron wasn't maximizing his gifts at that point.
Yeah.
And he was off of pure physical talent, but then he got to be there with the guy that everybody said he was better than, and then he saw how he worked. And then you just started seeing these guys. Look at all those guys: LeBron, Wade, Bosh, like all those, Chris Paul.
They all had
Everybody
great
comes back.
2009 years.
Everybody comes back the next season much better because they saw how a player who was already more accomplished than them
still work.
Outworked them by miles.
All right, we got a phone caller live on the air. My man, Mark Jones in the building. What's good, bro?
What's good, bro? First of all, shout out to the panel. Shout out to all the Lakers fans. You know, my heart goes out to all of y'all. I mean, I think someone talked about it earlier, you know, kind of remembering where you were at. I'm a little bit, not quite as old as Quan, but I'm old, you know.
You're up there.
I'm up there. And just being the same age as Kobe, you know, it just hit me differently. And again, I'm not a West Coast native. I lived in Vegas for 4 or 5 years. So I was like my adopted second city being from Chicago. And it just hit me different being a fan of the NBA, but being more importantly a father. So like yesterday, and just, you know, I text back and forth with you, Quan, and just, you know, like you said, just remembering where you were at when you were hearing it. Like I remember where I was at when, you know, Magic announced that he had AIDS. I remember when, you know, Michael Jordan's dad, you know, was killed. I remember where I was at with that. I remember when Walter Payton, you know, when he had got sick and he had passed away. Like I remember those instances, and this was another instance like that, and it was shocking. You know, I'm sitting there hanging out with my little girl, and she's asking me questions like, "Yo, Daddy, do you think, you know, that they know God?" And it's like, man, it was just a tripped out day. It was just a really tripped out day and really surreal. But the one thing that I was never really, I was a Kobe fan. I wasn't, I respected his work ethic. And one of the main reasons that not a lot of people talk about, or it kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit, is the fact that when Kobe came out, you know, it was like everyone knew Jordan's time, at least with the Bulls, was coming down to an end, right? So everyone was being quick to be named the next Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And every one person that got named to be the next, Jordan was not. I mean, Harold Miner and the list was, it was almost like honestly, it was the Madden curse before the Madden curse.
Grant Hill. Remember, Grant was the next Jordan.
I mean, but what Kobe, what the thing about Kobe was he embraced it. He never shied away from it. Even when people was like, you know, you packed the game after Jordan, he was like, well, I want to be like the greatest, so I take it as a compliment. And Jordan, just to have that killer instinct, like Mike would, if you were trying to get to the door, he's gonna beat you to the door. Like everything was a competition to him, and Kobe inhabited that. Like he brought another a way to do those things, and I respected Kobe for that. My favorite Kobe moment was, and just like an illustration of that, was when Jordan had his last All-Star game with the Bulls, and everyone was like, "Oh, like it's like a swan song." But Kobe was going at him the entire time, like, "No, I'm not going to let you off that easy. Like you're gonna have to earn these." And that was just, everyone else kind of rolled over for Mike, but Kobe never did, and Mike respected that, and that's how they became so close with it. So, I mean, and just seeing the fact, I mean, it's just a tragedy, like with all those people that passed away because of it, his daughter. But the real thing is that I think this, we will never know, but what Kobe was about to do with all the stuff he's been doing for WNBA behind the scenes, and all the things that I think he was about to have that second career and really embrace what he was doing, and really, I think he was going to make a huge impact. And I think that he had put in place is still going to come to pass. But like I said, whether you're a Laker fan or you're an NBA fan, I mean, just his touch from across the globe. I mean, it just shows you the immenseness of this man and what he meant to the NBA. And I'm definitely we're gonna miss him. But he was. There's not going to be another Michael Jordan. There's definitely not going to be another Kobe Bryant. And those guys are you can debate who's the best of all time, but if you can't get, if you get 3 or 4 in before you say Michael Jordan, or well, really, if you go 4 or 5 deep without saying Kobe Bryant, I can't really respect your list, because Kobe is he was just that dude, and that's, and someone said, caller earlier said, that it factor. You can't describe it, but you know it when you see it. And Kobe by far was one of those cats that you see it. So like I said, for those people who, like I said, we watched him, in the internet era, right? Like we saw his cat grow up in front of our eyes and retire. So it's like, you said, it's like you lost a loved one, even if you weren't really, a diehard Laker fan, but you were an NBA fan. You lost a real one, and that's all I had to say. Like I said, my thoughts and prayers with his family. Because like I said, I'm 41. I got a baby girl. I'm blessed with 5 kids, but my daughter is my youngest. So like I said, when you hear that, it's just heart wrenching. So, but anyway, fellas, I appreciate y'all giving me a chance to chime in, and I respect all y'all. Catch on when I can catch y'all, but. What y'all doing with the 824 show? No, much respect. With the start time, even though it's past my birth time, it's way past the time, the Central Time. But I appreciate y'all with what y'all doing. And,
appreciate it, man.
Giving people a chance so be blessed, y'all. I'll holler at y'all.
For sure, man. Appreciate it, MJ.
Man,
this is like
man, Mark out there in Dallas area and via Chicago. So, he was a Bulls fan, always talking about Jordan. But, I mean, you just see people that love the game, and you recognize that. You could hate the player, but you don't really hate them as you hate them in this arena. You don't,
And that's one of the things that I grew to love the most about Kobe is when you see most of the time old school players, all they do about the game now is complain.
Yeah.
But not one legend, not one, ever had a bad thing to say about Kobe.
And Kobe doesn't have a bad thing to say about
every legend. He was every legend's no, that's my guy right there.
But remember too that Kobe came through that end of that era.
True.
So he
still,
actually encapsulated that era and then came into the new era.
But when people were just saying he was just gunslinging, or he was this, or he was that, or he was a bad teammate, or every legend was always like, no, that's our guy.
Yeah,
he's still the one.
That's true.
I think he's probably the greatest player to kind of cross over from that era, but it's because he played through, it seems like 3 eras of basketball.
Yeah, no, he did,
because he played in 20 years.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Basketball Reference. I always get my stats from here. They got a little black ribbon in the corner for yeah, really. They got a little black ribbon in the corner, because obviously for Kobe. But I'm looking at his stats, and the first thing is 18 times All-Star. He was an All-Star. How many players? Most players aren't even around for 18 years.
Yeah, it's,
you know
it's
what I mean?
Crazy amount
and
of
he's 18-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ,
15-time All NBA,
but 11
15-time
team.
All NBA, yeah,
3-time MVP,
5-time NBA champ, 12-time All Defensive team. Think 12-time All Defensive.
Yeah.
All rookie team is rookie year,
and those were not
MVP.
in his last few years.
No, they were not in his last few years.
And these aren't. I mean, and people always want to bring up garbage points and garbage stats and all that. Like, none of Kobe's stats were garbage time. You know what I mean? Like, everything he did was I say that because pick up a championship in garbage time. Like, you know what I mean? You got to play those games.
They played the Nets. That whole series was garbage time.
I mean,
Kobe never
got
guarded by the best defender on the team. So,
Krim, did you give your Kobe moment? Or was that
I don't even know where to. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, give one.
Give one.
We'll have Josh go, and then you can go.
Man,
he had to dunk on somebody.
I got 3. They're all small.
I got so many.
Go ahead.
That last game's a big one. That game. You know what? Actually, yeah. Here's one of them. The year where they got Dwight, and they were supposed to be the team going in.
I was so afraid of that team being good.
They played against Toronto, and they were down like 10 with like a minute 20 left. And Kobe's already having a good game, but then he was just like, same thing with Team USA. That's another one of my favorites too. And he's just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take 3 of the most impossible shots I've ever seen in my life and hit all net. And dude's 34. I mean, he's going over Josh Smith. Dude, that dude's 25 and supreme athlete and 6'10", and he just shoots right over him like there's nobody here. He gets one. He goes in the corner. He just catches it, turns around, fades away, falls into the stands, swish. And I'm like, yo, are they really gonna win this game? This is really gonna happen? And somehow it gets down to 3, and he's dribbling. Literally, the entire world knows he's shooting this ball.
Yeah.
Does one pump fake. Dude jumps by him. Not that much. Still there. He's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to shoot this.
And he was double teamed.
Swish. And then ends the game. 34 years old, ends the game, goes in overtime by dunking on Josh Smith with 0.1 left.
Wow.
Dude has just...
I don't know if it was Josh Smith because he played for the Hawks.
That's what I meant. It was the Hawks, wasn't it?
No.
Was that against the Raptors?
It was Toronto. You're mixing up the games. I know exactly what game you're talking about.
Oh, that's right. The Josh Smith game was, he did have the dunk
he did
at the
that
end of the game.
3.
But
And this
180
is,
dunk on.
and see, this is the moment where I go, man, I hate Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hate Kobe. I hate that he does this to my team. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're a
that's
Raptors
where.
fan?
No, I'm saying.
Like
no.
Josh
No. I'm saying that when people say
Smith's food.
how come y'all never understand my references when I'm speaking? Like,
No,
Because I don't think you understand.
Wait. That was funny because he said Hawks, he said Raptors, then he said Josh Smith. It's like, wait, who are you a fan of here? That was funny.
I'm saying like when people generally when people say like they hate certain athletes,
This
these
is
are the
reason why,
moments
yeah.
and the reason why they hate that athlete.
Yeah.
Because this would be one of the moments where I was rooting against Kobe and he did this.
And he still did
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because he's a Raptors fan.
it's
right.
And that was one of the game's most memorable. Watching that with my stepdaughter because she was so excited watching that. Like, how's he keep doing this? And her down, she's like, Kobe, and that's
Same thing with my daughter.
like the main game that I remember where she was super excited and knew what was going on.
I think that's about when my
With
daughter
basketball.
started getting it with Kobe
Yeah.
too, with me and Kobe. I think that might have been the game too. It's just, it's hard for me. I mean, I'm sure it's hard for a lot of people. I'm not personalizing this, but like, it's just, I mean, a lot of my favorite moments, as much as I loved him as a player, were like just his transformation and all of his stuff after, and him having a daughter right around the same age as mine, and that's a lot of my favorite moments too.
And that whole
the
little
video,
that whole little stint of that game, and Lakers were far out of the playoffs. They should not have made the playoffs that year. They were far out of the playoffs. Kobe was like they were down against Charlotte. I can't remember if it was I can't remember what team
Would
it
have been
was.
the Bobcats then.
Well, it was when they were switching, so I'm not sure if it was the Hornets or Charlotte Bobcats or New Orleans Hornets. It might have been New Orleans Hornets. But anyways, they were down by 20 in that game, or over 20 in that game, and Kobe made just dominating, just decided to take over because he knew they needed to win almost every game to get into the playoffs that year. And that's the same year that he tore his Achilles. And one of my favorite moments, I'll say it right now, going to the free throw line,
still shooting it,
walking with a leg that does not work, and you hobble up there and you hit both free throws.
Net.
On a torn Achilles.
You know, it was another
On
moment.
a torn Achilles. And that right there helped them get into the playoffs. They got swept by the Spurs with Kobe not playing, but
A Kobe-less team.
the fact that they got to the playoffs when they shouldn't have because they just played horrible was crazy to me.
So my moments, they're very quick, and they're not, and most of them aren't anything that anybody else.
If you say them, it'll.
Well, all right. So first moment, draft night. Jerome had performed. Jerome was never supposed to be lottery pick. He went to Georgetown. He did well. He was a good player in the Big East, but was never supposed to be any. We were just happy
He
got
went
to
4
Georgetown.
years, right?
Yeah, no, he went 2 years. He was JUCO, and then he was JUCO, all Maryland, and then got to Georgia. And so Jerome, basically, this is back during the draft era where everyone went to camps. Like, they all went to, like, draft camps, and so Jerome ended up winning the MVP of the Phoenix Desert Classic, and that was with everybody that was in that draft class. And so that was when everyone was like, well, what, you didn't show any of this at Georgetown. So he jumped into the lottery, and that's
I
how
played with Iverson.
and so that's how he ended up getting in the green room. That was how we ended up getting there.
Oh, nice.
And so in the lead up to the draft, everybody, of course, oh, we want to draft you, whatever. The Hornets had the 13th pick. If you guys know anything about my family, number 13 is very significant in my family. And the Hornets were like, Jerome, you're not going to make it to us, but if you are anywhere near us, we're going to get you. So when the Hornets pick came, Kobe, I'd met Kobe's people before the game, before the draft. And a lot of, it was a couple of the foreign guys came in, a couple of the Euro guys entered that draft, as well as Kobe, Jermaine O'Neal. And so they ended up pushing Jerome down. We weren't taking them serious at the time, but when you look at the draft, we probably should.
Yeah, right.
And so Jerome went to Georgetown. We're like, oh, we good. We in here now. And so when Kobe got drafted 13, I was like, man, I'll never cheer for this dude. Who the heck are you? You messed up our daggone whole little significant 13, whatever. Jerome ended up getting 26. That's 213, so it ended up working out.
And you're wearing a Kobe jersey, so
no, I'm wearing Jerry West, but
Jerry
it's
West.
2-4, so that's still 8. So
yeah, that works. And Jerry West drafted him. I mean, traded for him.
He did. But that's the first moment. The second moment, when Kobe, this is Kobe still.
Wait, the first moment was you not liking Kobe?
Well, not liking him because he messed up draft night for me and my family.
I thought we were talking Kobe stories, not LeBron stories.
because
can't stand the Nakers.
You are racist.
You had
fired.
To do
you
that.
are fired. We were going to talk about that.
You
trust
had
me.
to do it.
Talk about what? Did something occur?
No,
not occur. Oh my
Nothing
god.
happened.
Occur. Oh my god.
He's so Canadian.
Okay.
Mehmet Oker?
All right. How about we get back to my? But so the second moment in 2002, in 2002,
and no, she didn't get fired. And no, she didn't work for CNN. Go ahead.
Okay.
I just saw all the rumors that CNN fired her. Like,
Yeah,
well, she didn't work there.
I was like, that's impossible. It's not even in this
not a
war
CNN
room.
person. Anyway, the second moment in 2002, after the Lakers won their third championship, I learned to start to respect Kobe. Kobe shared the stage with my brother at Rucker Park. It was his only time playing at Rucker Park. Kobe played against Jerome in Rucker Park. Jerome at this point in his career was, he was on the Raptors. His name had really started to rise, and but he still was nowhere near the level of Kobe or a name. And Kobe could have easily just said, "No, I want my day at Rucker Park," whatever. But he shared it with Jerome. Kobe was known as the Lord of the Rings. That was his nickname. The Lord of the Rings movie had just come out at that point, and so he had won 3 in a row. So he was the Lord of the Rings. And so it was Lord of the Rings versus JYD. They actually ended up having a tie. In the fourth quarter, it started raining, and so they ended the game. But it was a tie game at, I think, like 80-80 or something like that. And that was when I started to respect Kobe. But my Kobe moment on the court is Game 4 of the 2006 first round versus the Suns, where that team, it was a poor team. That was they were 45 and 37.
Smush Parker was in the league.
Smush Parker and Kwame Brown.
No, I'll give you.
We're giving it to you right now.
Chris
We're telling you, yeah.
Shoot, hold on.
Luke Walton.
Chris Mim got hurt.
He
wasn't even
Lamar.
on that.
Lamar could play.
Lamar was all he had.
Yes.
But he went up against the Suns.
But he wasn't even playing like Lamar.
He went up against a Suns team that had
loaded
freaking Nash. They had Sean Marion, and they had Amari Stoudemire at the height of Amari Stoudemire.
And they had Tim Thomas playing out of his mind.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Rajah Bell was on that team.
He had Luke Walton, Smush Parker, Maurice Evans, Bynum as a baby, 19 years old, only averaging 7. He was averaging 7 a game. Radmanovich, Cookie, Brian Cook, Jordan Farmar, Ronnie Terioff, Aaron McKee.
I've never called that guy Cookie.
No, that's my guy.
Don't look at Aaron McKee like that.
Yeah, it's Cookie.
Don't look at Aaron McKee like that.
I call him Cookie.
Yeah, Chick Hearn.
When you talk about Bynum averaging 17, was that 17
No,
times?
7.
But that was in the regular season.
7.
That wasn't in the playoffs.
Oh,
7
7.
minute
Also, the amount of times his knees like knocked together because they were so bent in.
And the number of handicap spots he
Vujicic,
played daily.
How many braids he had in his
Vujicic.
hair whilst having an afro.
Oh my God. And Shammond Williams, and
Oof.
yeah, it was a rough stretch. It was a rough stretch for Lakers.
Wow.
But Kobe to get the ball
By rough
with,
stretch, it's
with
2 years.
No, but those 2 years had you guys a little afraid. But that was basically
A little.
just-
I had to hear from these guys all the time.
Well, listen. The Kobe hits the layup that literally touched the roof of the Staples Center and dropped straight through to send it in overtime. Then wins the game in overtime. They were down 2-1 in the series, end up tying the series, end up losing the series
they
in
were up
7.
2-1.
No, they were down.
They
2-1.
went up 3-1 that series.
They went up 3-1.
No,
They went up 3.
They went up 3-1.
I'm telling you, I'm
went
promising
up
you, they went up 3-1.
The Lakers went up 3-1.
They were up
3-1 on that
3-1.
game, yeah.
They were up 3-1.
I'm positive about this.
All right, I'll check my
Because
stats again.
Because
Anyway,
it was going to be a major upset. Then
Yeah.
Phoenix ended up
I
winning
guess
3 in a row.
all three of us came together to make up this lie.
No. I must just not have really read my
Lies,
notes.
not
Because there was
lie,
a game
if
where
you believe
Tim Thomas
Lost.
made he made some
scored like-
amazing
yeah,
shots.
lost it.
He scored like
That-
45.
yeah.
He forgot he was Tim Thomas, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
But that game signified to me when Kobe put the team on his back, literally, because before that, I always looked at Kobe as the guy the Penny Hardaway that was able to get it done. Penny Hardaway had his moment with Shaq. They got to the finals and they started bickering. They separated. Kobe, again, another guy that got propped up by Shaq. Kobe was very good, but he never did anything without Shaq. And when he did that, that was when I started to really look at him like, well, I can start to cheer for him now, because if he's going to do all this by himself,
Yeah.
I have no reason to hate on you anymore.
Yeah.
Before again, Kobe was the player out of that draft class that got into a very good situation and won titles. Everyone else in the draft class, Iverson, Ray Allen, anybody that won a title out of that draft class didn't really do it until later on in their career.
Yeah.
Antoine Walker didn't win until he was a shell of himself in Miami, or a bigger shell of himself
it
in
was a
Miami.
turtle
Yeah.
shell.
You
I don't
know
know
what I
if
mean?
he's
But
ever been a
like,
shell of anything.
Pasta shells.
but you know what I mean? But like, Kobe was the only one out of that class that was able to get success pretty much from the gate.
And going to that game, that was the most excited I've been.
Yeah.
Because you just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And it was a Laker team, like you said. It was
No business.
They were running their offense through Kwame Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad.
Say that again.
That is also the same series that Kobe didn't shoot in Game 7 of the second half. But
Yes.
at the same time, like that game right there, it was so much excitement. You just couldn't believe 2 game-winning shot, a game-tying shot and a game-winning shot. Just amazing. And I'm going to say the obvious, the 81-point game. I'm watching his points go up, and this is when DVD recorders were pretty much brand new. I had a DVD in there.
Oh boy!
And
we
Lakers
are
were down
old.
by 15.
Wow.
And I was going to shut it off.
Yeah.
That's how mad I was. Thank God I didn't, because I made a lot of money on eBay off those DVD sales. But I almost shut it off, and I'm like, let me just keep
DVDs
it
and
on
eBay, baby.
because it is Kobe, and we see him make comebacks all the time. And to just watch him keep scoring, and I felt like I was in a trance. You're watching something you've never seen before. Like, he has 71 points right now.
Say that again.
Yeah, are you serious? Yeah.
He has 70. I mean, I ran upstairs to tell my mom, like, she didn't care. But I'm on the phone with my brother telling him, like, yo, you got to pick up this DVD. Like, and 81 points. I mean, that's unheard of. We see what Harden does. He has been getting some 60-point games.
And
that's still 21
that's
points
20
away.
less.
Hey, he had 10 assists.
And this wasn't in
He could've scored.
overtime. This wasn't, and Lakers were down. He needed to do that.
Yeah.
For them to win the game. It's not like the garbage time where let's put him in so we can score 81, because 2 weeks earlier,
They took
which
him
is
out.
actually
No, the
more
Mavs game was
impressive.
better.
More impressive. They took him out.
He
so they
scored
didn't get garbage points.
62 compared to Dallas's 61.
In 3 quarters.
If that game was closer, he could have had a 90-point game.
Yeah.
The way he was shooting, I'm not even going to argue with you.
I tell you, and my dad did turn off the 81-point game. That day was the day of the
NFC
and
championship.
AFC championship game. So that game ends. My dad turns to the Laker game, and I'm like, well, I got nothing else to watch. I don't care about these teams that are going to the Super Bowl. That was Carolina. Was that the year Carolina picked?
Oh, whoa.
That was the Bears. Whatever. Anyway, so no, it was way before that. And he actually turned off the game, and I'm like, well, I got nothing else to watch. I start watching it, and I'm seeing the points going up, and the game's getting closer. And I had to be like, yo, Dad, like, you might want to, something crazy's happened, man. You might want to watch. Kobe's going off, and they're not losing anymore. What? He doesn't listen to me. He's like, I'm going back to sleep. He'll never live that down. Now, guess what? He slept right to the 81-point game, Chief.
And then I have one more.
Okay.
I had a migraine. Like, Kobe healed my headache. Listen, real talk. Kobe healed my headache.
What,
I know
did you
that
drink
sounds
his
crazy.
tears? What does that
I
mean?
did.
What does this mean?
Listen, because I had a migraine. I'm sitting there watching the game against the Wizards. And, Lakers aren't, the game starts. They're doing all right. And this is when Michael Jordan played with the Wizards in L.A.
Oh.
And Kobe goes off for like 55 points. He had 45 in the first half. And I'm just watching and I'm getting, from laying on the couch to sitting up. And by halftime, I'm like, my migraine's gone. Because it was so exciting, though. I don't know. But I think just the excitement,
took your mind
on
off
Michael Jordan. And obviously, this wasn't the Michael Jordan, but this was against Michael Jordan. So just watching that and seeing, he had 45 in the first half and then Shaq wouldn't pass too much in the second half because he was getting a little jealous. But that was, he had 55 against Michael Jordan. That was a pretty big game, too. Real quick, we do got a caller live on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Jerry's Nugget.
Chris from Jerry's Nugget. How you feeling, bro? I know you had a little rough. I know it was hard for you yesterday with Kobe, but then you had the Royal Rumble to kind of hold you over. But how you feeling?
Oh, I did that. That Royal Rumble was very well therapeutic.
Yeah, and don't tell us about it because we don't care. But
I care.
I care about the therapy.
Chris knows I care because
I care.
Well, you guys can be on this new podcast that starts.
He helped me watch it.
Okay. Nice. What's on your mind?
Man, Kobe. That's all I've been thinking about all day. It's been rough.
Yeah.
Ever since we got him in the draft day trade with Charlotte in '96, which I do say that summer of '96 was the best offseason any team in any professional sports history had. Because we got Shaq as a free agent. We traded for Kobe.
And you had Magic
retire. We used our first-round pick on D-Fish. And we used our first-round pick on D-Fish that same draft.
Yeah. I wouldn't have included
two
that.
Two out of three at best.
You could have fit anybody in that D-Fish pick.
But no, but he was a starter. He was, a starter for our 5 championship team, D-Fish.
Hey, definitely.
He started.
Definitely.
He got the ball down cool.
Not on that first one, right?
4/10 of a second? Come on.
Starter?
Oh, he didn't start on.
Yeah.
That was Ron Harper.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, MJ.
4/10.
Was it?
But still, he has 5. I mean, he didn't start, but he has 5.
Yeah, no, he was there for all 5.
Eric Gordon had
He
50.
was there for all 5.
What?
Eric Gordon had 50
Yeah,
points.
Eric Gordon went off tonight.
Wow.
He did more than go off.
Yeah, and then, but my favorite Kobe memory was when I was in high school. Me and a whole bunch of us were going to go out bowling. And we were meeting at my house, me and all my friends. And, that was the game we were down by, 28 to Dallas in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, man, can we just go? Man, let's just go to the bowling alley. All my friends knew I was a diehard Laker fan. They all knew. Like, no, let's just stay and watch, and we're going to laugh at you.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, okay, whatever. But then we started, the Lakers started coming back. 28 went down to 20, went down to 15, went down to 10. And then we ended up winning that game.
I totally changed
my
from that
friends,
game.
Huh?
I totally changed from that game. And I turned back just in time to see him and Shaq high-fiving. And I was like, what? I was like, why are you so happy about this loss?
I was at work that night at the Cheesecake Factory, and I went by the bar and stopped. I'm like, wait, we were just down a lot.
Yeah.
What's going on? So I definitely quit working right then and there. And if my tables needed me, they can get me after this game. Because I only make $5.15 an hour plus tips.
Yeah. I literally turned back just to be like, I wonder what the final score was in this blowout to see him and Shaq high-fiving. And then I'm like,
I watched
wait
that
a minute.
whole
Is this a replay from the title? I'm confused.
game, and I was pulling for Portland so tough.
Dallas.
Oh, yeah, that's a different game. He literally said Dallas.
Oh wait. What
This is a regular season game against Dallas.
Oh man, I'm sorry. You said 28. I
December,
figured
the regular season game.
I would bring that up too.
December. I think we set the record for largest fourth quarter comeback at the time.
Yeah, at
I
the
think we're
time,
down like 27, 28.
Yeah.
It was just
that's crazy.
It was just incredible to watch. And then fast forward like 10, 12 years later, there was that regular season game where we were chasing for a playoff spot, and Kobe hit like those 4 or 5 threes in the fourth quarter against the Raptors.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah, that was
Oh, I
was
just got
great.
off work. I didn't hear that.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, so I mean, then I was watching that, and that I was just like, yeah, that's my Kobe memories. Those 2 games really stuck out to me the most out of his phenomenal career.
Definitely, man. Well, we appreciate the call, Chris, and just those memories and just what he was as a player, and the legacy he left.
Well, yeah, they'll never be touched. I don't know if there'll ever be. I mean, outside of LeBron and Cleveland, Dwayne Wade in Miami, I don't think there'll ever be a professional athlete that resonates with the city like Kobe did to LA. I think those days of athletes staying in a city are gone. I think that's it.
Steph's the last chance.
The last of them.
Dirk in
Yeah,
Dallas.
last chance.
I think Steph stays.
Other than that,
Yeah. but Does he stay
All right, Chris.
all the way through?
We appreciate it, bro.
all right. Good night.
All right.
Gary
Bye.
Payton didn't. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. A lot. I
Harris
mean,
chasing
we're looking right now like, does Tom Brady stay? He might play 2 more years somewhere else. So
We gonna talk about that?
maybe.
Thursday. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
hey,
there's so
we can
many.
write
Oh,
about
I don't even care
There's
about
so-
anything else
we
today.
can write about it. It's all good.
There's so many moments.
I get it out.
Oh man,
You can get it out.
there's so many moments out. I'm gonna mute your mic. There's
Mike?
well, I'm hoping you let me talk, but anyways,
But you're talking about those moments. I still remember, even as a non-Laker fan, as is well known. Well, I was supposed to be hanging out with my buddy Bruce one night, the 81-point game night. I had gotten off of work, and we are supposed to meet somewhere else. He's like, "Come to the Frontier." I had to pull in because I heard what Kobe was doing, and I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna have to see some stupid nonsense of some regular season Raptors
Stupid
game."
Nonsense.
And then I walk in, I'm like, "How many does Kobe have?" He's like, "Well, he's already over 50." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
and it's the third quarter.
Third quarter.
And I just sat there in awe the rest of the game, and it was just like,
And it's not like he was just running to the basket and they're letting him get layups.
No, and he was shooting, and it wasn't just like, hey, he got hot on threes.
Yeah.
Nah, he played his regular game
Yeah.
and shooting
and he had to play that
mid-range
game.
twos, bank
That 80
shots. Are you
That
kidding?
81 was in the flow of the game.
The best thing I can say about that 81-point game, and I heard somebody say this the other day, so I'm kind of stealing it, but you can't really think of one highlight from that game.
No,
It was just regular Kobe just being Kobe. There wasn't like one play where you're like, whoa. He was just on in a zone,
yeah, he
and it
just
was
kept
just
going.
methodical,
Yeah.
and he's just like it was military precision.
Yeah.
he just broke every player on the team one by one.
And then another big one, the game against Portland, where
Wow, it's great.
they're down. They go from 5th seed to 1st seed,
Mm-hmm.
and Sacramento was good back then, so we didn't want to give them a good position.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 04. Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone. And those 2 shots to send it into overtime
And that fadeaway three.
and then to win it in overtime.
Unbelievable, man.
And the fact that players don't do that ever in their career one time usually. Like they might get one. But Kobe's done that multiple times
When everybody knew he was getting the ball.
in multiple games when everyone knew he was getting the ball.
And still covered. That's the biggest thing. Like, he's like, oh
Ruben
no,
Patterson was the
He
Kobe
was-
stopper was all over.
No, the Kobe stopper. That was
Ruben Patterson was inside his jersey, and he still got that shot off, and it's still hitting it.
Yeah.
Like no rim.
He couldn't even land. He had to go to the ground just to be like, yo, I'm not trying to sprain my ankle.
him being the Kobe stopper was always like when people would talk about Portland with like Nick Batum covering Durant. He's like, this is what he's here for. It's like to get roasted every time he ever plays him.
But the fact that most of the moments we're talking about are like regular season games, usually like your favorite moments of athletes are usually like big, huge playoff games. And we just have so many from him in the regular season.
Yeah.
There's one in
know?
the playoffs that I was just looking it up because I was trying to find
You
out
looked up
what
a
year.
favorite moment.
Because I was trying to figure out what year it was, and it was a 2011 playoffs.
Yeah, it's the year they're trying to go.
Google, what will one of my other
They were
favorite
playing
moments?
against the Hornets of New Orleans, and I remember the game before. Chris Paul was crossing over Kobe left and right to the point that Kobe sprained his ankle,
Don't blaspheme.
and he came out. That's what happened, though. But
By the way, Chris Paul's playing
there's a
great this
happy
year.
ending.
I don't believe the internet.
And so when Kobe left the game on a sprained ankle, and they were saying, "Oh, if Kobe has basically if this sprain is serious, the Lakers won't win. They don't have a shot. The Hornets will beat them in this series, right?" And the next game, of course, the whole time Kobe's like, "No, I'm playing. I'll be there. I'm going to show up," and he shows up, and they're questioning his ankle the whole first quarter.
So he jumps over.
Yeah. In the second quarter, he jumps over the entire Hornets team and dunks on everybody.
Including Emeka Okafor, who was a great shot blocker back then.
Yeah, who caught just the worst of it.
Dunk on all of them.
And I just remember seeing it like,
we did not do that here.
It's over for the Hornets now. Like, this dude done woke up. Like, I mean, that's you get a guy where if he had a bad game and to come back, there was no social media post, there was no excuses, there was none of this crybaby stuff that a lot of players kind of put out now. It was just the next game he came back and showed you, like, I'm not just going to tell you I'm good. I'm going to show you. And they ended up winning that whole series.
The game against the Pacers in the finals, man. When
Shaq
fouls out. And
that was baby Kobe with a cool fro.
And that was right. And that was, I mean, that was at the beginning stage. And because I wanted, in my head, I'm like, I want Shaq to get a title. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
This is me in my head thinking. But by then, I already recognized how good Kobe was. And when he took over that overtime, no free throws. I mean, this is just all seasoned NBA plays he's making. The dude is, and how old was he then? 20?
Against
21?
a pro team.
A real pro veteran team. And he's just, they're giving the ball to this kid in one-on-one. And he's just like, okay, we're good. I got this. Just, hey, everybody calm down. No moment was ever too big for him.
And I think that's when we realized that calm down really meant like Kobe got this.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, he's at least going to try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we do got a caller live on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up? This is Kevin from Chicago. You guys hear me?
Yes, sir. How you feeling, man?
Oh, nothing much. I just want to talk about this Kobe Bryant incident, Kobe Bryant tragic story. I want to get you guys' thoughts on it because I've been thinking about it. I've been looking up some recent information, and you know what's, I don't know, funny, but interesting to me is kind of the usual woke suspects who are all about the progressive causes and they're all on the Me Too stuff. They totally pushed aside that Kobe Bryant's past history. And you know, we live in a society where people look at old tweets. You know, someone like Nick Bosa, they're looking up his past tweets. Oh my gosh, what did he say? Well, he supports Trump. Holy crap, he's a Nazi. And but when it comes to Kobe Bryant, it's like that's just completely oblivious to him. They don't want to hear about it. They don't care about it. Don't you kind of see the double standards? Even with someone like Don Imus, you know who that is?
Yep.
No, never heard of him.
The thing
Don
with Kobe,
Imus.
there's a lot of reporters that did put that out. There's a lot of comedians that made jokes about this, saying that they were glad he was dead. So there's been a lot of horrible people out there the last 24 hours, talking about this.
When is the last?
And first of all, Kobe wasn't convicted of a crime. He was accused of something that he wasn't convicted of. So it ended in 2004. So why
he was charged?
And they dropped the case, bro.
And they dropped the case. So
when's the last time you heard about? When was the last time you heard about Nick Bosa's tweet? I really want to hear who you heard that from and when. Since we're talking,
I hear that all the time on Twitter.
You hang out with the wrong people. You hang out with some lames.
Well, I mean,
but what I was gonna say about the Kobe Bryant, you got to look at the details of that Kobe Bryant stuff, because just because he got dropped or he didn't get charged, that doesn't mean nothing. So many cases he gets dropped. People get away with stuff all the time. You look at someone like Bill Cosby. Got away with stuff for 40 years.
Now, real quick, if you passed away tomorrow, God forbid, but let's say when you pass away, do you want people to pull up your worst moments in your life? Because we've all made mistakes. We've all probably been accused by friends or enemies of saying or doing something we didn't say or do, right? So do you want people?
If I got raped, if I raped somebody, then you can bring that up.
But if you didn't rape anybody and you were accused of it, right?
Well, I mean, listen. That young lady, she had, what was it,
4 or 5.
No,
others.
listen. That's not
other-
what we're doing today.
I mean,
we're not.
gonna do it.
We're not.
look,
No.
I
What
know,
we're
I
not
know,
going to do
I
is
know,
talk about
I know,
that woman like that.
I know.
The
I
bottom.
know.
The bottom line of it is
I know.
Just
but
to
the
say-
only
to
two
say-
people that know what happened
right.
were
so
those
we're
two
not,
people.
So we're not going to talk about that about her.
So we
We're
don't.
not.
We
Hey,
don't.
hey, hold on. Before I leave, I just want to get my point across. I completely agree. He hasn't been charged, but I'm talking about the hypocrisy. The people who are fully on board the Me Too and believe women and every single thing in their lives is.
There's a lot of people. You need to go
causes.
on Twitter because there's a lot of people that have brought that up.
Yeah.
And also at the same breath, has anything else ever come out about Kobe since that time?
That shouldn't
No,
really matter.
no. But I'm saying he's invoking Me Too, and he's saying the things that are very now and very current. This happened, 16 years ago now, and if
didn't happen,
or didn't happen exactly. He was charged, and again, the charges were dropped.
Yeah.
If you can't move past that, I don't feel like that's hypocrisy or that people are being hypocrites. This man was a good man. Every one of us has had our own struggles, our own demons. Everyone works through things. But as Quan was saying, when someone passes, it's best not to, talk about their worst moments in life. Whether you like them or not.
I don't even
when
think.
Don Emus. Okay, you remember Don Emus?
Don
It's a
Imus,
legendary.
yes.
No, I don't know Don
Don
Amos.
Imus, legendary broadcaster. He put Howard Stern on the map. What happened when he died? People were raining on his parade. People were shitting on him from a
Lots of
racist and
language.
this and
Don't
that.
say that.
So
Well,
But I would say there's a
I
whole
also don't
difference.
have a.
Yeah.
You also don't have a long list of a lot of great things that Imus did.
Listen, I understand the point that.
well, he was a really good.
I
he's a
understand. I
legendary
understand the point that
broadcaster, dude.
what
He's a radio. He's in your line of work.
I don't agree that just because you die, you shouldn't talk about your bad stuff. If you're bad, you're bad. We talk about historical people's bad stuff all the time, and they're dead. I think this more speaks to what America's public opinion is of that case, and America gets to have their opinion. And for the most part, consensusly, America doesn't think that was a real thing. So that's why America is treating it the way they are treating it. That's just the way that goes.
Yeah.
Now, there's plenty of slots available on the radio station. If you want to do a show about that case, hey, anybody wants to, they can knock themselves out. Quan's available 24 hours a day. They can call them up, say they want to do a show about whoever.
Nobody cares about Don Imus.
Nobody cares about Don Imus. But if on that show you want to talk about that, that's fantastic. We here don't.
All right, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from this.
We're not rocking with that. So.
Appreciate the call in, bro.
All right, take it easy.
Take care.
We appreciate the call-ins, but
Man, look. I
you want to give your opinion? We're
think
gonna
that
give
was
it back.
coming. Come on.
I knew
it is going to be.
The difference is
gonna come
we
up.
all know.
I don't want to talk about it.
We all know who Kobe is, who he was, and what he did or didn't do way before we knew about any kind of case. The only time I've ever heard of Don Imus was when he was in the news for doing something that a shock DJ does.
Yeah, but that's you.
So-
There's a
That's
lot of
still
people
not-
that knew who he was.
Yeah,
before
of
this.
course, but I'm just saying,
Moving
like,
on.
it's
not just
Moving
that.
on. Moving on. Moving on.
It's not comparable, is my point.
Yeah, and
right.
moving on is my point.
How about a little legends of Kobe,
Okay.
like behind the scenes stuff. Like I was reading something today where Lou Williams said after they got blown out by Portland, Kobe went to him and Nick Young, made him take off their Kobe shoes because they were too soft to wear them.
That's hilarious.
And it's not like
dude.
it's made up from some outside source. Lou Williams himself said this.
Charmin soft.
My thing,
Jarvis
my
called
thing
him
with
shock.
him, man, like just like how you were talking about earlier, how he wasn't one of those that trashed the game as it went on, because the game changed a lot from when he came up to now. I mean,
Completely different.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people our age who watch the game now are like, God, so many threes. Why? You know what I'm saying? But the thing about Kobe
We
is
know.
he was one of those guys who, I think we all are like that. He's one of those guys who he made it his duty to pass his knowledge down to the next and better the game that way. But I mean, almost every player in the NBA met him personally or had a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anthony Davis said, the first player that took him under his wing was Kobe.
Yeah.
Bro, didn't he get drafted by New Orleans? They live in New Orleans already, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe's in LA. He's in New Orleans. Like, he reached out to him. You know what I'm saying? The first guy was Kobe.
And we've seen it with Jason Tatum and all these other people that You know,
Yeah.
he stayed with the game. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that might have been because of his daughter and trying to.
Well, his daughter got him back into it.
Yeah.
Well, and just his
because he had mentioned he hadn't been to a Laker game, and then
since they retired,
being
his
able to
jersey.
see the excitement with his daughter being there, like, okay, this is for her now. I'm watching it through her eyes because she's excited. Trae Young was her favorite player.
Yep.
So they were just at a game not too long ago in Atlanta.
Do you think he was a favorite player because that's the only one she could post up?
I guarantee you she gets a bucket on Trae Young. Trae Young might be the worst defender in the league.
Well, I mean,
Who's
I
worse?
wouldn't call him worse. Whose shot is he gonna bother?
Yeah.
Who is a worse defender than Trae Young?
How tall is Trae Young?
Probably somebody who defends
5'6".
just like him and can make a basket. So
who they wouldn't put on the
I'm
court.
not talking about his offensive game.
Well, I mean, there's people that are
I'm just saying
defensive.
he's 4'7". They were look, come on.
Hey,
in
get out
shoes,
these-
and he's
listen,
killing
listen,
in
listen,
Nikes.
I got
Baby Hair's got a nice shot.
Young baby hair.
Cannot play
pending,
D.
I got pending deals. Please get off of Trae Young.
Oh, I love dude.
Thank
Kidding
you.
me? I love him.
Good.
He's still short.
Doesn't mean he can
also-
play
I
defense.
bet, I bet he'll tell you he's short. Like he's not gonna lie.
The measuring tape will tell you he's short.
Josh, who talked to you about
TV.
Trae Young before me?
Me, maybe.
No chance.
Wow.
I guarantee you I'm the first one to talk to you about
It might-
Trae
it might
Young.
have
It
been
was
you.
on the same show.
It might have been you.
That me and you talked about him.
Might have been you.
Maybe you said it first.
I feel like Dave probably said it first. And then,
Dave
then
wins.
Quan, of course,
Dave wins.
seconded.
Boy.
And then
I was
like,
driving
oh,
the
I'll
Sooner
watch him.
Schooner
There's
for
a
that
difference
boy.
between not being able to play defense and not be able to stop anybody. Like Steve Nash tried, but come on, man, ain't nobody scared of shooting over him, so they just made buckets on him. You know what I'm saying?
True story.
You can try just as
And he
hard.
got MVPs
You
for
can
that.
try if Trae Young tried just as hard on defense as Scottie Pippen. He's still gonna give up 50 because ain't nobody afraid to shoot over him. It's not gonna change anything.
It's got a small frame too.
Yeah, look,
This right here say he's 6'1". That's a.
he's not
They
gotta
also
be
said
a lie.
Iverson was 6'1".
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's gotta be a
Iverson-
lie.
That's how high the
Like,
ball goes when he shoots.
Yeah, that's,
Iverson coming out of Georgetown was 6'3". At Georgetown, Allen
okay.
was 6'3" at Georgetown.
And now he's 5'10".
All of a sudden he's 6'1". Come on, man.
That man at Georgetown was like
He
this
was
high to John
5'11".
Thompson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no. Like he's always been the same height, but like I was like, oh okay,
6'3".
6'3", and then when I like actually started
I
to
didn't
grow and
realize I
got
was a
older,
7-footer.
me and I was like, hold on, man, I'm taller than AI. What happened?
right.
I'm not 6'3".
I legit think Trae Young has always been the same height.
hey, man.
Maybe
Like he came out like that, and that was it. And they were-
hair supports your point.
You're like, you got two options: have a really small strike zone, or learn how to shoot,
Those are your
Alternate
options,
height,
bro.
bro.
Those are your options.
Be Jose Altuve or Lil Steph Curry.
or be the football. Like,
Wow.
You can be as tall as you want to be, bro. You don't want to be 5'10", just say you're 6'1".
listen, we all watched them same milk commercials when we were
6'1",
young.
baby.
That thing
Dude.
was a lie.
Do yoga and grow 5 inches.
Trying to tell you.
No.
Wow,
do that
so
mess
he's
every
6'1"
day.
Here too. It's no way this dude is.
No, he's not.
No,
6'1".
he's not 6'1".
He's not 6'1".
No way.
If they, but you know what though?
What are those
They
new
did
measurements?
just do
those
the new measurements.
Yeah.
Now, has this been updated?
Hold on. I don't buy
Alternate
those new
measurements?
measurements at all because they say that Kevin Durant is 6'9". No.
He
That's
could be
a
6'9"
lie.
because everybody else that they said was 7 foot was really 6'8".
No,
maybe.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's taller than Jerome by a good margin.
I'm just telling you, they changed.
Jerome is
I'm telling
legit
you,
Kevin Durant
6'9"
was sitting
without
down when
shoes.
they measured him.
They remeasured him, and that's what they said.
They was like, take your shoes off and sit down.
Kevin Durant was like, Kevin Durant passed somebody some money is what happened.
Kevin
Like,
Durant
you
leaned
gonna
against
tell
the
me-
wall.
You gonna
Yeah.
tell him I'm
Always.
6'9".
Well, of course he was leaning. He only has one Achilles.
Wow.
Fair.
Something happened.
May only have one calf now too. A minute he's only gonna have one leg.
Oh no! In a minute, it's gonna be him and Stephen A. Smith just continuing to work together. That's gonna be the end of his career.
Wow.
Him and Perk, they made up.
They
Well,
made
well,
up.
I don't know if they made up.
Perk made up.
Perk apologized.
Shout out to Perk.
KD might be like, "Nah, I won. give me my money."
He tweeted back with his burner account. On accident.
KD does not accept. I mean, KD does not accept.
No. Wait.
I speak for no. Wait, no.
I always loved that man, but the burner account thing,
That's
that was
just
a
rough.
That was a bridge too far.
That's
No. So so okay. So you want to know something?
No, we don't actually.
Always.
We'd like to be stupid. Just talk.
Kamari Usman,
Uh-huh.
his fan page is actually run by him. It's a chance for him to actually. It's a chance for him to basically be a fan page.
But by the way,
how'd you find that?
Wait, you said
still
his
not
fan?
as bad as Katie's
You
burner
said his
account.
fan page is run by him?
His fan page. His fan page is also him.
Man,
so he has
Katie's
him,
burner account still
and
worse.
then he also has his fan page, but he runs both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Katie's burner account still worse.
I mean, I won't tell you why. I know that.
Katie's bigger though.
Not that.
Nah, listen.
Okay.
Boy, I needed these laughs.
Dude, Colangelo's burner, that was another good one.
I just know, like
Holy smokes.
I just know the longer the show's gone, Steve has got closer and closer to Cream.
Trying to steal my camera, son.
Hey man,
Nah,
they try
Steve
both
trying
being
to
framed.
Steve trying to diddy me.
Suddenly,
Take that. Take that.
Take that.
We need some cheesecake, Kareem.
Whoa!
I need
whoa,
you.
whoa.
I need you to walk. Need you to walk
Just
to
like
Queens and give
All
me
right,
a sugar
and
cone.
Cream has a subject he wants to talk
Close
about: the
to
Los Angeles.
Oh.
Did she?
The
or did she?
Knickerbockers?
As a white guy, I'm not allowed to talk about it. So, what do you think,
That's a
Cream?
white guy.
Listen, man.
What do you guys think about that? Because I listen to it a lot, and
I didn't
I've never
listen.
listen. Hold on, I've heard the N word a lot. I watched Django Unchained, and I never heard it with a K in there.
And I've bet on the NBA before, so.
Hey.
Wow.
Was your over under on a bad bet higher or lower than Django?
Wow.
Whoa, higher. They'd have to make a sequel.
Oh, God.
Especially if it was a Rockets game.
Oh,
Oh, God.
James Harden dribbles. I'm like, Django!
Oh, God.
Save me, Django.
I listened to it a lot. There was an A in there. There was a K in there. It didn't sound like it to me. I don't know. We do radio. I've said things that sound different than what I was trying to say.
I do it all the time.
you definitely do.
Twice today at least.
Damn it, Steve.
You might have done it just right now. I'm doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now. I love you, Steve. Steve is always going. Steve going Steve. Hey, look,
Steve
and there's,
going Steve.
and there's no stopping it.
And these big t-shirts, Steve going Steve.
Yo,
Yeah, baby.
you don't need mine. Steve's like, yeah, I did it. I'm doing it right now.
I'm gonna do it again.
I'm doing it about 15 seconds. Keep the camera on
Oh
me.
my gosh.
The longer
Yes,
we
they
talk, the more I'm
deserved
gonna do it. I can't help it.
I call it a Chinese restaurant.
Couldn't tell you which one.
Dude, he has whole episodes of Negro Please that's just a straight outtake.
Just outtakes.
Man, that's the episode. No, that's outtakes. No,
That's
that's outtakes.
That's not even what I meant to say.
Steve, we need to have another episode. But I'll be here all day.
Nope. I got one in me. One's all I got.
We got a show coming in at 2. Wait, we started?
Oh, what?
I thought we were just out taking.
The camera been rolling?
Hey.
I didn't even know I was here.
Like
Oh, Steve.
the like show.
Anyway,
I just love when Cream didn't realize that Dallas Scott was half black. He's like, why is that
Boy.
white guy saying the N word?
Oh no!
I was like, well, looks like I'm out of here.
He hasn't watched Negro Please since.
Were you like that? Were you
I
like
have
that
watched it
Joyner
since.
Lucas video?
I have watched it since. So yeah, I was like, what he say? First of all, I don't know no black Dallases. Come on, what you want from me?
Can't be held responsible for not knowing a black Dallas.
Listen,
Wow.
should have came with a one of them the things at the bottom that warn you or something. What's it called? Well,
I
one
am
of
black.
them things.
I am black. Tag.
Disclaimer: I am
Dallas.
black.
But you're black.
He's
But you're black.
My mom might be white, but
Oh my
my father.
No,
Ooh, don't
I don't know.
don't
I don't
go
know
down
who
that
to.
slippery slope.
no.
gosh.
Is
I don't
that
know
the way it
who-
usually goes? Weird.
Well, it could go opposite.
And not in movies.
I think it happened like twice.
That was straight to Netflix.
That was Monsters Ball. That don't count.
Oh gosh.
Make me feel good.
We feel good.
All right, Steve, you were saying you make a lot of mistakes.
Man, look.
Oh, he's got more.
No,
On the topic of mistakes.
no,
I was-
I'm just saying.
When I was 7 playing soccer.
I listened to this audio and I don't know what words she was trying to say, so I'm not going to say like, oh, she said she mixed Knicks and Lakers.
And the Knicks were the first team I think that did the I think they played the earliest. So I think that they were the first.
Yeah,
who did
so
the,
she
like,
said
the
something right
moment of
along
silence.
those lines, and She's also talking about the neighborhood that the plane crashed, where the weather was foggy or something. So it was still early when they didn't know what exactly caused the crash.
The foggy Nakers.
And she said the Los Angeles Nakers. And I keep listening to it, and I hear like a nay, not a nig, and I hear a K. I hear a K, not a G. So I don't think she said.
I definitely heard an R.
The N word. She said Nakers. It sounded like Nakers because I remember listening like, what is a Naker? Oh, she said Lakers. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that should just be the name of an expansion team, and then
Nakers is actually a word. It's a real word, but she didn't mean to say that word.
Yeah. Look it up, Steve.
We're looking that up right now.
I just looked it up. It's a kettle drum.
Wow.
Somebody say kettle?
Wow.
And see, that's how you get the triple word score.
I don't know.
Man, I'm gonna play that every Scrabble game. Except not with any of you guys because I don't want to test my boundaries.
You would play bad words on Scrabble?
It's not a bad word.
No.
It's a kettle drum.
It's a kettle drum.
I don't want to drop N-words in any circumstance.
He puts all his N's back in the bag.
Yeah. 2 G's, no thank you.
Wow.
The clue is
Let's
I
not spell
definitely
the whole thing out.
Hard R, that's a
Whoa,
hard
the
pass.
hard R in
Well, it's
Scrabble?
Scrabble.
Hard
There's
pass.
no-
It's going to be the same R,
There's
Dave.
no soft R's. They're all wooden anyway.
the clue.
Well,
is
it depends
people
on the
that
wood.
annoy you. People that annoy you.
That was a great one.
Naggers.
Of course.
Naggers. Of course.
Oh, man.
Hey, the dude said.
That was a great one.
Naggers, of course.
Oh, man. Of course.
I know it, but I don't think I can say it.
Clearly.
That's
one of the best episodes of South Park.
Oh my goodness.
the way he said it, the way he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna say it. Nakers.
So do you guys think that CNN should fire this girl that works on MSNBC?
Here's what people have to understand, man. Like, do you know how hard it is to get to MSNBC? Do you know? I mean,
yeah.
I know people make the jokes about the girl who did the favor to get the job. Okay, there's billions of girls in the world.
Yeah.
Okay?
Doing a lot of favors.
Right. So
Literally.
I'm just saying it's a lot to get to a certain point where you're on MSNBC. You know how hard it is to get on your local news?
Do you know how hard it is to get on Gorilla Cross Radio?
Right, exactly. No,
you got to pay at least $300 a month.
This isn't even a joke. It's hard to get on Gorilla Cross.
Right.
All right. This woman is not going to jeopardize her entire life and career over a word.
No,
right.
That's
it's not
ridiculous.
going to happen.
Go ahead.
And she's been doing this long enough. I mean, listen.
Now, if it was Fox,
I cuss.
All bets are off.
Listen, I cuss probably more than anybody here. Sorry, Mom.
You haven't heard Dave.
Oh, I've heard Dave. Listen, I slipped this thing in as many times as I say good morning.
Hey,
all right.
that I definitely do not say anything.
So, but listen, I'm not even.
Negro, please.
I don't get paid as much as she does, and I found a way for over a year now to not cuss on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard.
But it is difficult sometimes to talk and get all your words out, right?
But there's no way that word of all the words, that's the one that she's like, oh no, I said that around my uncle.
Yeah, no chance.
There's just no way
Not
that
on
she's
TV.
right. Now listen, if she says it in her bedroom, well, you know what? Guess what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We'll work out the semantics later.
Stop it.
If this was like a recorded
What's your
phone
safe
call,
word?
yeah.
I'm just saying. Listen, if she says it at home, guess what? A lot of people say a lot of things at home. Listen, this is the real world. Be a realist. There are people who do say it at home. Okay, be a realist. Okay, and if you didn't know about it, it didn't affect your life. What I care about is, are you taking away my freedom or my money? That's all I care about. If you're not doing that, say what you want at home. Don't say it to me because I'll take away your freedom. But
she didn't say.
She's not going to risk her entire thing that she's worked for all this time.
And the bad thing is,
slip it in.
And the bad
for what? Did I say that again?
Yeah. And the bad thing is, this is happening while we're all mourning. So it's like, oh, now we have to hate somebody real quick, though, guys. Like, you know, and that's what I hate.
And it's like people looking for something.
The conspiracy theories, just everything, adding up the numbers, and this number meant this, and that's why Kobe was a sacrifice. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, you got
Josh, don't do it.
The internet is crazy.
I won't. That's all fair.
Don't.
I'll talk to Dave about it.
People are always
I
looking
can't
for
talk to
somebody
Quan.
to
You have a
hate
conspiracy theory?
or something to be mad about.
I'll talk to Dave.
it
I'll
was-
talk to you in the car.
It was a cartoon that he sent me.
Who sent you?
You.
I saw
Oh,
that.
I did send you that. I
saw
did
that.
send you that. That was crazy.
I
Man.
mean, but
It
And
was
it was
kind
a-
of funny though.
And it was a nice
Quietly.
round number of 3.5 years later, so that's totally proves it.
yeah. Anyways,
I did send you that. But
so
yeah.
she shouldn't get fired. I think that's
No,
the consensus in this room, anyways.
No,
Yeah.
But
I
some
didn't,
people
I
just
didn't
want
even
to
wish
see.
to watch it. I didn't even care enough.
You
to
didn't
even-
hear it?
No, I didn't care. People kept
You're not
talking
mi-
about it.
you're
and
not
I was
missing
like,
anything.
I was
You're
like,
not missing
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephen Cream already said what she said.
Yeah.
so.
No, well, I mean, everyone else on the internet decided to chime in.
Even if she said it, then what?
I mean, she should get fired.
She should get fired. Yeah.
But I'm saying
you don't, Steve. You
But
don't just
but
let
here's
a
my
white
point.
lady say anybody.
mean,
if it was a black lady, she would have got fired.
But no,
for
here's
saying
my.
it.
This is my point by saying that is.
Stephen A.
If,
Smith
let's say
slipped it in.
if she said it, we know she did not mean to say it. She wasn't saying anything malicious about it. She fumbled over her words, and even if the fumbled words actually were the N word, which they weren't, it was Naker. But even if the fumbled words did turn out to be the N word, now what? We're gonna fire her.
Yes.
Just to no. And no.
Look,
I'm
hey,
not
look,
saying. I'm not
look,
saying.
listen,
but I'm saying
listen.
if we fire
If
her,
she said the
then
Los
what?
Angeles
right,
fire her tomorrow.
Great.
Yeah, because
Apology or
because guess
not.
what?
Well, then
this
she
is
gets
my.
fired.
But
It
It doesn't mean
I
anything.
get it.
She
but
took
That's my point.
She
It
took,
doesn't mean anything.
She
right.
took communication in college. She had to have taken some kind of communication class in college.
Many of them.
Right.
She gets paid for her words. If she actually had said that word, I'm sorry if I can't trust you with your words on a thing where we use words.
But that's
then
my.
I'm sorry,
but,
I
but
gotta
this is,
fire you.
My point is not. My point is not saying like, what do we do with her? Of course, she's going to get fired. But I'm saying
I don't think
now,
she
what?
will.
Now, what? Do we feel better about Kobe's death? Do we feel better
Right,
about
yeah,
just
fair.
life in general?
No,
being
you
a
feel
black man
better
in America?
about
Like,
you
come
feel
on,
better
man.
about
Like,
the white lady getting fired.
it's just sometimes we have these big, huge arguments and fights about things that are just super irrelevant.
Very true.
You get my point now? Like
Very
that's what
true.
I'm saying is
No, it's-
Why are you
like,
yelling at
yeah,
us?
it's-
Very true.
Gee.
because
We're your
that's how I
friends.
talk.
We're your friends.
Ain't you never seen any of my movies? Ain't you heard my podcast?
Juice. I was in that one.
That was a good one.
Dallas Scott, he's a black one.
Oh man, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us this whole show.
We needed this today, man.
man.
Yesterday was the chat group was
It
somber,
was weird, man.
It
I
was,
mean, yeah, our group was.
Everything
group.
was somber.
every group, every chat group I'm in, it was all just,
Yeah.
yo, this is real life.
Yeah.
So, hope we. can
You're in other
make a
chat
few
groups
people-
besides ours. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm a philanderer.
He's a philanderer of all things chat.
Hope nobody brings that up later on in my life.
Our caller will.
Oh God,
Collarbone.
man.
And I mean, he calls it a lot and does say a lot of good
Colorado.
things. So I don't want to dog any of our callers.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Everybody's entitled. Wow.
Eagle. Wow. Get it, guys? Should have fired her.
Nope. Stop.
That-
Stop.
Does she still work there?
Oh no.
No, no. I think that was just a summer job.
She don't need to work on work.
I don't think she's in need of employment.
Well,
That's crazy. That whole situation still
Which, by the way, a settlement does not make you
won't
guilty.
bring it up.
no. That's,
Won't bring it up.
especially
I won't
like in
bring
the
up
middle
what
of
I
the
just
NBA
am
season.
bringing
No,
up.
what
no,
you're bringing
no,
up.
no. I won't
What I'm
continue.
bringing up.
I was talking about collars. I don't know.
And Rados.
Collars and Rado.
Oh, man. Anyways, we will be back Thursday at 2 p.m. to let you know about the 49ers winning the Super Bowl this Sunday coming up.
Sorry.
Jimmy G, you talked about kettlebells. So,
Wow.
listen, we don't know where to go from here. I mean, honestly, the past 2 days, I had basketball on and didn't care for the first time in my life.
Didn't care at all.
To watch. I was sitting there looking. I was looking at the game.
Yeah.
I wasn't even watching. I didn't care.
I could not tell you who won yesterday in these games.
It's just weird, and you know, it's going to be a minute. Nothing will ever get back to normal. But at the same time, when you follow athletes, you have things to watch. You have things to remember. So it's always good to be able to have that, and to be able to go back and watch these moments that we talked about. You can go on YouTube and check them all out if you haven't seen them. You know, and that's what's dope about sports, you always have those. You always have those highlights. You always have those 5 championships you get to watch over and over again, Dave. And I appreciate you, Dave. I put Laker colors all over your name, and I appreciate you. Just
not the time, man.
It's not
Not the time for my hate. Don't worry, my hate will rise again.
The Sith will return.
The hate rises, brother.
Rises.
There will be an episode 10. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's not over.
It rises.
But we will be here every Monday, 8:24 p.m. will be our start time. So I'll start without you.
Listen.
Hey, look.
Listen.
If those new girls are out, hey, I'll be here.
I ran to the gate. I'm like, if I'm not here at 8:24, I'm just gonna banish myself. I walked in that piece right at 8:24.
You was 8:23.
8:24-ish.
He was 8:20.
Listen.
It depends on what.
No, it was 8:24. But you had just started the music. The music had just started.
I kept playing it because I was waiting for him to sit, and then right when I was going to unmute the mics, he got back up and went to go get water. But hey, he
I didn't know I was
it.
already on camera, so that wasn't embarrassing at all. That's cool.
Well, you needed water so you didn't fumble your words today.
That's right.
We want
no
you to
nakers.
say cracker or anything.
Oh, hey.
Oh, whoa. The Naker boy, Ric Flair.
Cracker. Oh, I meant to say cracker.
Snackers?
I meant to say crackers.
Snackers?
Nobody's offended.
It's not. Yeah.
Oh, we still got to talk about Antonio Brown too. Another day, not today.
Do we?
Oh, we're not talking about
I don't feel the need to.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be talked about.
We'll talk about it when it's Netflix.
Well, you know what?
We'll
you know
have
what, Dave?
something new
You know what,
Thursday to
Dave?
talk
If you're
about.
here Thursday, then we won't talk about it. How about that?
I won't be here, so you ain't got
Well,
to worry
there you
about it.
go. Well,
Come on.
don't be telling us what we do in our lives, Dave.
I'm just saying I don't feel like talking about it. I'm not saying nobody else wants to talk about
Why?
it or
What
hear
do
about
you
it.
think
Oh,
about
we don't want to talk about
Who
it. but
cares?
it keeps coming up.
Man's crazy.
Okay, so you talked about it. Thank you.
There
I
we
just
go.
wanted to I just wanted to prove that you would talk about it.
Oh, makes sense to me.
I like to talk.
Do you really?
Never heard.
We
of
never knew that.
It's in your Naker.
Shut it down. I'm done.
Oh man. Oh man. Wow.
That's a walk-off.
Hit the music, Quan.
Anyways, download the Gorilla Cross app. Make sure you follow us at Gorilla Cross on all social media. Please download the app, rate and review the app if you get it. And if you haven't reviewed it yet, make sure you go ahead and do it. If you missed the show, please check out the replay, share the replay, and the podcast will be up soon. I know people have been saying, well, where's the podcast? Just like that. Where's the podcast? We'll be getting the podcast soon, narrated by Steve and Dallas Scott. This episode of Unnamed Sports Show was talked about.
Naggers, of course.
Naggers.
Well, listen, we are here, and we're here to brighten your day. In sad situations, we hope we can bring some dope memories and be able to, make you laugh a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's unintentional by Steve. But
Steve is about the funniest unintentional funny person you'll ever meet in your life. Like Steve, that was gold, brother.
He's like, keeps it real. What I say?
All the time.
Unintentional comment.
Unnamed Sports Show. Make sure you check out all of our other shows on Gorilla Cross Radio every day. Download the app. Call Cox Communication because our internet's still whack.
Precharge.global.
Yes, sir.
Pre-charge.
Body armor.
Body armor. Don't start randomly yelling at me.